Okay, boys, wakey wakey. It's time for probably one of my most anticipated videos. Next to, I mean, the Railway 2 video. Uh, probably. But this is the uh this is the definitive guide, probably, to Uptie and Threadspin Tier 4, or, I call it Threading Tier 4, or Thread Tier 4. Uh, I've gone back and forth on how I really want to do this. Like, how it would be, like, the easiest way to represent, the easiest way to represent this. Uh, and I think that what I want to do is we're doing tier list format. I have 4 different tier lists. And when you're doing tier lists, right? When you're doing tier lists, it's always very important to explain the methodology. So, because there's always gonna inevitably be people who skip to the end just to see the tier list, and have no idea what the categorization means. So, I made the tiers. I made it a little bit descriptive. And I'm going to explain what I'm doing with the tiers, okay? So we have IDs. Uh, we have 2 tier lists for IDs, and we have 2 tier lists for egos. Okay, they're the same. They're the same. It's just one is IDs, one is egos. All right. So this tier list, the first tier list, for each category is going to be how much Uptie 4 actually gives to the ID or the ego. So if the ID gets a lot from Uptie 4, then they're gonna be high on the list. If the ID does not get a lot of improvement from Uptie 4, then they're gonna be low on the list. In other words, this is basically this list is basically how important is it that I uptie this unit? Like, does this unit become substantially better or substantially different if I uptie for them, right? Versus we could just chill and not have to uptie them, and the performance will not change, pretty much, right? So this is what this means. Same thing with egos. It's okay, does the ego get an actual good tangible benefit from Uptie 4, or is it just a marginal benefit, right? Not really anything that's high priority, right? So this is what this means basically, right? So you can see on the side, the tiers. If it's a 5 out of 5, it gets substantial improvement, as in you basically you need Uptie 4 in order for the ID to be usable, basically, because it's just it got that much of a huge buff from Uptie 4 that it basically is like a different unit almost, right? 4 is solid improvement. It's basically you'd be shooting yourself in the foot if you didn't if you didn't give it Uptie 4. It was fine before, but it is a solid improvement, right? 3 is a fair improvement, or a fun improvement, it's a unit that's not going to be crazy benefiting from Uptie 4, but the change that it gets is fair, or it could be goofy or fun, right? Then you have non-zero improvement. It's not useless. That's the only category, or the only criteria. They don't gain much of substance from Uptie 4, but it's not nothing. It's not nothing, right? And then 1 out of 5 is a little to no practical improvement, right? Yeah, you do get something. Technically speaking, yes, they do get something from Uptie 4, but it's not you do not need to care about what they get, because it will not do anything, basically, right? There is literally there's no reason to uptie them, because they don't get anything of substance, basically, right? And again, this goes the same thing for egos. The second tier list is going to be based on how meta, I guess, how meta relevant I think the Uptie uh the Uptie 4 and the Threadspin for egos and IDs are going to be, right? Uh just like overall, right? Just overall how meta I think they're going to be. So, top like 5 out of 5 meta is like, this is going to be this is almost certainly going to be still like one of the best options or the best option for this center. 4 is great option, right? So like, I would consider great option like in Railway Line 1, like I would say LCCB Ishmael was like 5 out of 5 meta, and then Reindeer Ishmael was 4 out of 5 great option, right? Like it's maybe a step down, but it's like a justifiable choice if you were to pick it over the over the meta option, right? Like, uh, like in Railway Line 1, if I put this is where I would put these two, right? For Railway Line 1. Uh, and I would say LCCB Ishmael was like the best option, and then Reindeer was like a great option, right? But not the best option. But if you picked Reindeer, I would have, and if you picked Reindeer over her, it was justifiable, right? Like there was a reason to pick her, so it's like a really good option, right? So that's basically what that means. 3 is like usable, definitely. Like this is a 3 out of 5 is generally where we start drifting away from meta and more towards like definitely an ID that functions and has like a tangible game plan that they can execute solidly, basically, right? Like they are not completely dysfunctional. uh 2 is gonna be like niche, like their game plan might be a little shaky, or they only have like one specific use, or like one or two specific uses, basically. And then 1 is like waste of thread, like don't uptie for them at all. Pretty much, they're not going to be relevant, at all, unless you're doing some goofy stuff. All right. Uh, and again, same thing with egos. Same thing with egos. So the way we're gonna do this, uh, I made a community post last night before I went to bed. Uh, but uh, the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna go by center and just rank every single, like, just so it's easy to timestamp. We're going to rank everything that every center has at once. Uh, so we're gonna do all the Isong IDs and then all the Isong egos, back to back, so that in the video I can just timestamp it as like Isong, and then people can skip to that, right? If they want to see like, oh, how does he rate Ishmael? How does he rate Ishmael? Well, you can skip to Ishmael, right? Something like that. So yeah, what I'm gonna be doing is Isong, I have all of his stuff uptied, up to tier 3. I have all of his egos uptied and thread spun to tier 3. So, we'll use the in-game client because it's the easiest to see. But for someone like Faust, where I don't have like Telepole and I don't have W Corp Faust uptied to max, and I don't really want to use thread on them right now, uh, what we're going to be using is we're going to be using Kusoge database, because they have indeed updated their database to include Uptie 4. So it's a little bit harder to see, but we can actually see the difference. I mean, maybe, is there a way to like, can I middle click this? No. I mean, we could like, okay, this could be kind of AIDS, but we could flip between these. I kind of like that, actually. Yeah, we can flip between these. I like this, and then we'll do the same with egos. So yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is upside 3, this is upside 4. Alright, we'll do that. So we'll do that for things that I don't have uptied in game, because, like, this is really annoying. I don't know why it's like this, but, if you don't have something at uptie 3, you can't see what the uptie 4 is, because they only let you see the next tier. So that's really annoying. I hope they change it. But, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. It might be a little inconsistent. So, with that being said, let's get started. because we have a lot to work through. I'm going to try and keep it short so this video is not egregiously long. So we're going to kind of blast through a lot of these IDs and egos, but we'll start with Isang. So, base Isang. What does he get from Uptie 4? His skill 1 goes from 3 to 7. And on hit inflicts 2 sinking instead of on heads hit. Cool. Great. His skill 2 does not gain any coin value, and it inflicts 1 more sinking on hit. And then his skill 3 gets 1 coin power, I believe. Yeah, it gains 1 coin power. So it goes to max of 12 clash power, and then his coin 1 and coin 2 get effects. They did not have sinking effects. They now have sinking effects. And then one thing you'll notice with all of the Uptie 4 stuff is that all of the Uptie 4 stuff, when you Uptie 4 an ID, their defensive skill will then finally gain a Sin Resource attribute. So, you know, about time. About time. They finally figured out that no one wants to use defense skill because it loses you an insane amount of tempo and value. So, you know, with every Uptie 4, your Sinners will get a resource on their defense skill. Very nice. So, Isang. I'd say base Isang gets, like, non-zero improvement. He's not that crazy. You know, he gains, like, a fair improvement. This gets 1 coin power, so it goes from 10 to 11, which is, like, kind of a breakpoint, but not enough to be really that good. And then on hit, inflict 2 sinking, instead of heads hit, basically does nothing. Inflict 2 sinking and 1 sinking count is, like, you know, the main problem with this, like, the main problem with his base ID being a sinking ID is just that the main payoff for sinking is sinking deluge, and you can't use sinking deluge if you have base Song because the only unit in the game currently with it is Spice Bush. So I'd say, you know, he gets, like, a non-zero improvement from it, but it's not like a crazy improvement or anything, right? It's not like nothing. Like, it is sinking support, but it's awkward because the only payoff for sinking in the game is Spice Bush, so you can't use it anyway. So I'd say, you know, probably going to be a waste of thread. Probably going to be a waste of thread. I would say probably don't Uptie 4 this guy. For now, you know, don't Uptie 4 him for now. 7 section. 7 section, he gets a fair amount of improvement. I think he goes from 10 max, his base power goes up 1, coin power goes up 1. So, you know, 5 to 7 is pretty okay. His skill 1 goes to 12, which is on the good side for clashing power and skill 1s. Skill 2 gets 1 coin power as well, I believe. It gets 2 coin power, so it doubles in coin power. That's actually better than I thought. We go to, what, max 13, which is not stellar. For the record. It's not stellar, but, you know, it's something, I guess. And then he gains a little bit of Rupture support. And then Molinet, this gets 1 coin power. It does not get 1 coin power. It's just yellow on yellow, so it's hard to tell. My apologies. But the coin power doesn't change, and on hit, last coin just inflicts 1 Rupture, and then his guard gets an attribute. I'd say 7 section, 7 section gets, like, little to no practical improvement. I'd say don't Uptie 4 him at all. He works exactly the same at Uptie 3 than he does at Uptie 4. Literally, all he does is, like, this is the best thing you're getting out of Uptie 4. His skill 1 clashes for 12 instead of 10. Beyond that, you're just like, yeah, I'll inflict 1 Rupture count and 1 Rupture. And then 1 Rupture. It's, like, really not that much. There is, like, there is something to be said, maybe, about, like, because this Rupture count gets inflicted on Clash Win, not on hit, so it will, like, add to the stack before this attack hits the enemy. Like, it'll increase the count before this attack hits them, but, like, it's a very, very niche scenario. You know what? I mean, I'll give it to, like, non-zero improvement, I guess. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, something like this for now. I guess it's a non-zero improvement. Like, he does have use, but he's very niche. And that's where I'll put him. I'll put him at niche. Uh, he's going to remain niche in the meta, is what I mean by this. Like, this is going to be the overall meta. Not directly, strictly, not strictly bound to Uptie 4, but just the overall meta, right? Just the overall meta. And I think in the overall meta, he's still going to remain pretty niche. He only has, like, maybe he used to have only one use, and that was his Molinet. Uh, and now he maybe has another use with Rupture support, but it's, like, not that good, right? So, he's gonna remain niche. I think. Then Blade Lineage. Blade Lineage gets spicy. He goes to 6 plus 7 instead of 5 plus 6. So, now we're at 13 at a skill 1, which is almost it's like second most in the game for skill 1. So, that is a really good skill 1 now. On use, gain +2 poise count, which is pretty neat, pretty spicy. So now he can increase poise count, which is nice. Heal turn gets +1 clash power, but it tops out at 11, so it's not that great. And then flank thrust gives you poise on use. And the damage multiplier, well, he gets an extra coin power. He gets poise on use. Instead of nothing, which is nice. And the damage multiplier went from 50% to 70%, which is neat, I guess. It's still only on his last coin of his skill 3, though, so it's not, like, anything crazy, I guess. It is nice that he has a way to get easy poise count now, but it's still not spectacular. His counter also gets buffed, and it has a new multiplier to deal extra damage on crit. Same as his skill 3. And then his passive got a overhaul, pretty much. A massive overhaul. Still has the same effect on Clash Win, gain 1 poise count. But his coin powers are all boosted by 1 for every 5 poise count he gets. Which is pretty spicy. It is pretty spicy, because this will massively increase his performance as long as you can keep a massive poise stack. The only problem is the poise stack will just start falling off. But I think there is solid potential. I think there is solid potential for this guy. If nothing else, I think it's a fun improvement. And he definitely becomes way, way more usable. He becomes leagues more usable than he did before. So I'd say probably usable tier. Like, niche to usable, it depends. Like, it depends. On, like, he benefits from having people who can boost poise. So, you know, support passives that can increase poise count and stuff. So I'd say he's probably still pretty niche, but his coin values on their own are not awful. Like, this buff makes his skill 3, like, pretty strong total damage. Again, the clashing power is, you know, leaves a little something to be desired. It tops out at, what, 14? But, you know, what is the maximum base damage? It's like 36, which is on the higher end for a skill 3. And then, you know, skill 2 leaves a little to be desired. It is what it is. And then skill 1 is really damn good. So, you know, I'd say probably still niche. But the improvement he gets, the actual improvement that he gets is, like, it's a pretty fair improvement. It's a fun improvement. I think especially with the passive, it changes the way you play with him massively. So, you know, this can see some experimentation, but I don't think he will actually be meta. Even though he will see experimentation, I don't think he will actually be meta. I think he'll still remain pretty niche. And then Spice Bush, he inflicts what? +1 sinking on skill 1. Yeah, +1 sinking on skill 1. I mean, it's pretty okay. And then this, his skill 2 and, no, it's just his skill 2, my bad. His skill 2 gains the effect, of if the main target has 6 plus sinking count, coin power +1. So, you know, I don't know how the hell you're supposed to inflict that much sinking count, to be honest. This does kind of, like, this kind of helps you achieve that, but this is still, like, this is still pretty much never getting activated almost, for the most part. So this is like basically nothing. And then the tremor, the tremor payoff. This was almost never getting activated either. I think it was deal 30% of damage or something. Yeah, deal 30% of damage. Now it's up to 40%. You know, hardly does anything, to be honest. So, you know, and then his evade gets gets an attribute. I'd say, you know, you'll notice with a lot of the meta IDs, they're going to be down here. And Spice Bush is no different. He gets little to no practical improvement from Uptie 4. You can have him at Uptie 3. He'll serve exactly the same function. Most of the benefits he gets, like, this is, like, +2 sinking count next turn is pretty much the only thing he gets. Because this is hardly ever getting activated, even though it is spicy if you can. Because, you know, plus 1 coin power on an AoE skill, potentially, is, like, you know, pretty good. But +6 sinking count, a 6+ sinking count is going to be pretty damn hard to achieve. So, you know, I'd say this probably does almost nothing. And then plus 10 plus tremor count, like, dude, how the hell are you going to get to 10 plus tremor count on Isang? Like, usually it doesn't happen unless he has an absurd amount of slots and you're not using Moment's Floral Breeze. And then even then, it's just 10% extra damage, so it's really not that much that you're missing out on. It's not that much you're missing out on, so I'd say little to no practical improvement. But I think he's still going to remain meta, for sure. Like, his competition is not very steep, let's just say. And then we have all of his egos. Crow's Eye View, just inflicts bind next turn, and then that's it. It doesn't even get coin power. It just has a new effect to inflict bind. I'd say, you know, it's a non-zero improvement. It's not crazy. Usually, in 90% of cases, 3 haste on your entire team is enough to outspeed every enemy. 3 haste on your entire team is enough to outspeed every enemy. Like, enough for your team to consistently outspeed most enemies, right? So, you know, 2 bind is kind of a treat. It does unlock some synergies with, like, Spider Bud egos, so it is definitely something that exists, but it doesn't really add that much to the usage of this ego. It's still mostly just for the 3 haste on your team, more than it is for the 2 bind on one person next turn. So, you know, this does not change much. I think it's still going to be meta. Like a great option or meta. Probably great option. I mean, it's really damn good. It's really damn good. So, I'll put it up there. But yeah, this is fine at Upside 3. 4th Match Flame. This goes from a 3-slot AoE to a 5-slot AoE. Heads hit inflicts 6 burn. So now it inflicts up to 10 burn on a single skill onto 5 different people. Same thing with the corrosion. I think that is spicy as hell, bro. I think that is spicy as hell. So, his 4th Match Flame is going to be a solid improvement. Either solid or substantial. I'd say it's a solid improvement. It's definitely really good. It's still mostly the same usage as before, but this is like a really solid ego now, I think. And I think overall, I mean, I used it before. I feel like people always slept on it before, but you know, post Uptie 4, I think it's going to be a great option. I think it's going to be a great option. I think this is really sick. It's pretty cheap. Wrath is the only thing you need to really generate, and Wrath is not hard to generate, so it's not really that much of a cost. So in exchange, you get an absurd amount of burn on 5 different slots. It seems pretty damn good to me. So, you know, I'll say 4th Match Flame is a great option. I might swing back because usually I swing back and forth on these two, right? I might swing back on 4th Match Flame after Uptie 4. Maybe. Wishing Cairn. Wishing Cairn gets a few things. First, the The base ego, or like the base version of it, the non-corrosion version turns into a 3-slot AoE, which was the main strength of it, was the corrosion turning into a 3-slot AoE, was like the main, this was like the main strength. So now it's on baseline, which is, you know, very good, so now you don't have to, overclock it, which is cool. And then the corrosion, same thing, but it gets, like, base power or something, like, who cares about the base power, to be honest? It does not really do much. It does not really do much. Wishing Cairn, definitely also, gets a pretty substantial boost, in usage. It now becomes basically like it basically becomes a legerdemain side grade, with which inflicts sloth, fragility, and paralyze. So it's essentially legerdemain. So it's a solid improvement. Uh, it is a solid improvement. It doesn't really change. It doesn't change the usage substantially or anything, but you know, I'd say fourth match flame. Yeah, I'll say it's a great option, or I'll say Wishing Cairn's a great option. Fourth match flame, I'll bump it down a little bit. I think I'll still stick to Wishing Cairn because now Isang also has legerdemain, which is funny. So you know. But do not sleep on his fourth match flame. I feel like this ego is also with five slot AoE. You know what? I'll bring it up. I'll bump it up. With 5 slot AoE and 10 burn on each slot, that seems pretty strong. Dim Shredder. This is a typo fix, I think. When you see this as yellow, this doesn't actually change the effect. It's just changing a typo. Instead of spend charge to deal more damage, now they're specifying you spend charge count. That's the only change. It doesn't change it functionally there. And then, you know, if charge was spent, inflict 5 dimensional rift instead of 3, which is neat, I guess. And then this is indiscriminate targets randomly. It's another typo in fix or like clarification. Instead of targets a random unit, it targets randomly. Same thing here. It's just a typographical error, and then it inflicts 5 dimensional rift. That is literally the only change. So I'd say, you know, it's a non-zero improvement. It's a non-zero improvement. It is better rupture support because this increases rupture count by the count. So, you know, it's not like, you know, going from 3 to 5 is pretty solid for rupture, but rupture's gonna need more than just 2 more count on Dim Shredder, Isang, right, to be good. So, you know, I'd say it's probably niche still. The usage is still going to be very niche. I don't think it's going to change. I'm not going to say it's a little to no practical improvement, though, because there is a practical improvement. This going from 3 to 5 rupture count is not bad. Definitely, especially if you have a stack of rupture already. This multiplies your damage. Like, this adds 2 more triggers of your giant rupture stack, which is a super large amount of damage potentially. But you know, it's still a niche ego. Like, again, my intention with these is that you combine these 2 tier lists and make your own decision on whether or not you want to Uptie or Threadspin, right? Like, that's my intention. Like, you're not don't use only one of these. My intention is so that you don't use just one of these. It's like, you know, Crow's Eye View, you know, well, he said it's not really that much of an improvement, so, you know, I won't Threadspin it. Well, the thing is, it's still going to be really meta, so you're going to get a lot of use out of it if you do Threadspin it, so do bear in mind, you know? This is mostly to help you make your decision on what you want to do. I'm just putting it into nice little categories, for you, so that you can take into consideration. It's like, you know, okay, you know, Dimension Shredder does not get that much of an improvement, and its usage is still going to remain niche, so it's like, okay, probably hold off on that, right? You know, I'll make the decision, probably hold off on that, right? So that's the intention. Do not just look at one of the tier lists, and go, okay, you know, this is the tier list of what I should uptie, right? Because there's 2 different factors. There's the amount of improvement they get from uptying, because, like, some of the IDs and egos are completely shit already, right? Some of the IDs and egos are shit. So the improvement that they get might be really, really big, but they still, like, maybe they're still going to just remain terrible, right? So, like, even if their improvement is really high, their actual meta relevance might still be low, right? So, just keep it in mind. The intention is to use both of these and come up to your own conclusion, right? Using both of these. So that's the intention. Anyways, Sun Shower. Sun Shower goes from a 5-slot AoE to a 7-slot AoE, which I think is like really hilarious. And then it also gains what, 5 point power, which is appreciated for sure. Same thing over here. It gets extra power. This goes to a 35 minus 15 instead. So, you know, essentially, if you hit heads on this, it's a net neutral. Because you gain 5 base power and then you lose 5 more when you hit heads. So, you know, it's a net neutral if you hit heads. But if you hit tails, you do get 5 extra power, which is neat. Again, 7-slot AoE. That's the only thing that changes. It goes from 5 to 7. It's a fair improvement. Usually, most of the time you're not getting any, most of the time you're not getting much value out of it. You know, like, the difference from, like, going 1 target to, like, 3 targets is really big, like, for Wishing Cairn, right? The difference between going 1 to 3 targets is really big. The difference between going 3 to 5 targets is, like, good, not fantastic. It's, like, it's appreciated for sure, right? Like with Fourth Match Flame, like, going from 3 to 5 targets is a difference. Going from 5 to 7 targets is, like, mostly overkill. Like, most of the time, it's not going to be that great. There's a few fights where there's, like, a ton of slots, like Sun Shower itself, like the Drifting Fox. You know, because he has, like, 4 actions on his own, and then he has, like, the 4 umbrellas, so there's, like, 8 different targets or something in that fight. So it does see use there, nichely, but it's not, like, crazy. Like, most of the time, 5 is going to be enough, you know? I'll put it in fair and fun improvement. Most of the time, 5 slots is going to be enough. It's still going to be meta as hell, though. Do not get me wrong, it's still going to be a very meta, ego. So, that's Isong, total ranking. Then we go to Faust. We'll start with base Faust. Base Faust gets, what, +1 base power on her skill 1. I think that's +1 as well. Yeah, +1 on her skill 2. And then, what is that, is that +1 again? So he gets +1 on all of her skills base powers. That's literally it. Yeah. We're gonna go little to no practical improvement here. Her usage is not any better. Her practical improvement, her practical usage rather, is just gonna be on the bench for the support passive usually. Very nichely useful support passive, but it's not bad. It's just, you know, worse than her other options usually. But, you know, her only practical usage is this, and Uptie 4 does not increase her effectiveness of her support passive at all. So it's not a practical improvement, I'd say. Meta relevance, she's still probably going to be a waste of thread. I say probably don't Uptie base Faust. Don't Uptie base Faust. You know, there's probably better things to be spending your thread on. So, you know. Then we have LobCorp. LobCorp Faust gets a little bit. It goes to 3 to 8 instead of 3 to 7. Oh, 3 to 6, actually. So this is a fair improvement. Finally breaches over 10, which is nice. On use, gain Poise count. We don't really care about Poise on this character. She's not really a Poise character. Most of her strength is on her skill 3. So, you know, Deep Cuts gets a little boost. It goes from 4 to 5 base power. And then her third coin actually does give her Poise as well, which is neat, I suppose. It's neat. And then, you know, her evade gets Sin Resonance. But, you know, all she does is get more Poise support, but her kit doesn't actually pay off Poise in any way, really. I mean, she does get haste, I guess, but it's not really that much it's not that much of a great improvement or anything. So, you know, I'd say probably little to no practical improvement. Her skill 1 gets better, but it's still a skill 1, so you're going to avoid using it most of the time. Her skill 2 does get a +1 to base power, but, you know, the difference between, what is it, like 13? The difference between 13 total power, total clash power, and 14 clash power is, like, very small. It's a very small difference, and it doesn't really get over many breakpoints, off the top of my head, so, you know, her improvement is not terrible. It just does not actually change her usage at all, because, again, most of her usage is on her opportunistic slash, which it does not get any improvement. So, you know, I'd say she's still usable. She's still usable, for sure, but she does not really benefit that much from Uptie 4. Then we have W Corp. This is the first ID that I don't have Uptie 3, so we're gonna have to use Kusoge database for this one. But we'll just flip back and forth a little bit just to make sure I'm seeing everything. Alright, so Leap, one major thing she gets. All of her skills actually gain charge count on use, so her charge gain is boosted massively. Her skill 1 gains 2 charge count on use, right? Can I zoom in maybe? Make it a little bit easier to see? Not really. I mean, I kind of like it. I like it over here. Okay, so we'll do 110% zoom. Yeah, alright. I like this. So, yeah, her skill 1 and skill 2 now gain charge on use, which is huge. Because charge on hit is kind of inconsistent. So we want charge on use whenever possible. Her skill 2 also gains 1 base power, which is appreciated for sure. So, you know, now it goes up to, what, 14 instead of 13, I guess, which is, you know, not terrible. Again, not a crazy improvement, but it's appreciated. And then her skill 3 gains a massive improvement at 5+ charge. You know, her skill 2 also gains charge count on hit, you know, so it does help her boost her charge count. Now this is a lot easier to activate. Spend 3 charge to inflict 4 bind is a genuine utility skill now, because this will self-charge. This will self-charge now because of on use and on hit. So this will be way easier to get compared to before, because her only charge count was this. And then, you know, her terrible support passive, which was, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, this is actually a usable effect now, because this will self-charge. So her usage increases dramatically there as a support. And then this gains 2 clash power, which is fair, not fantastic. Don't get it confused with coin power. It's not coin power, it is clash power. So this is basically just +2 base power in a clash. So in a clash, this would be 8 plus 3x3. So, you know, up to 17, that is. 17 in a clash, which is pretty good. You know, 18 is generally where you want to be if you're, like, topping out. 16 is, like, where you start getting to, like, better than average, right? Is, like, 16 breakpoint. 18 is where you start to get, like, oh, this is really good, right? So you're right in the middle. 17 is not bad. It won't be able to outclash, like, floor 5 enemies or anything, but it's not bad. And then the actual effect itself doesn't change. Also, her support, or her in-battle passive changes. Instead of just gain 1 charge after an attack, she also, you know, gives charge to a random ally after an attack, which is, you know, something, I guess. Not crazy or anything, but she does get a massive improvement. Literally, like, just being able to inflict 4 bind on a basic skill is really strong. So her usage, dramatically increases. I'd say it's a substantial improvement, almost, to her usage. It is a substantial improvement. Because now she can self-charge the skill 2. The skill 2 literally charges itself instantly. The attack power down and next turn is appreciated. It's not awful. In fact, it's pretty good. Attack power down is not the same thing as offense level down. Remember, attack power down literally just takes away 2 from the enemy's base power. So, you know, it's pretty damn good. Inflict 3 paralyze, so, you know, it's not bad or anything. It does not fix the fact that her speed is literally trash as fuck. Uh, does not fix the fact that her speed is terrible, but just the improvement on her charge gain across the board, her charge gain is way better. And her skill 2 is way better, right? Just that alone is really good. Because her skill 1 has fair values. Her skill 1 has fair values. So now that it actually gains, like, a fair amount of charge, it's actually respectable skill 1 on paper. Like, just generally, it's a respectable skill 1. So I'd say it's a substantial improvement for sure, considering W Faust was one of the worst units in the game, and now she actually has usage. And I'd say W Faust, definitely usable for sure. Do I want to put her in great option? Well, we'll see. We'll see. Hold on. We'll see. Last ID for Faust is the Gripper. Gripper does not gain much. Her skill 2 gains on hit inflict 2 nails on the coin 1, which it didn't have before, which is kind of neat, I guess. So now she'll inflict more nails, I guess. And then execution, if the target has 5 plus nails, instead of dealing 50% damage, it deals 70% damage. Which is, you know, a marginal improvement, if anything. Evade gets a, Evade gets a resonance. And then, this is where things get spicy, because both of her passives got, additional reworks. Whistles, applies 2 Fanatic to basically just Encorp Sinclair. You know, allies with the least, 2 allies with the least sanity. So Encorp Sinclair, and then, you know, Encorp Sinclair and whoever else, right? So 2 Fanatic is a pretty big difference. And then at the start of the combat phase, this is the same. It's just also 2 Fanatic. So, you know, it's pretty good. Nothing crazy or anything. She inflicts more nails, and then, you know, execution, you don't use execution for the damage most of the time, so this hardly matters. And then nails is, like, you know, fine. Not crazy or anything. So, you know, it doesn't really change her usage much. Her usage is still just gaze, and gaze does not get better, obviously. So, you know, I'd say it's a non-zero improvement, I guess. I mean, it's not like crazy or anything. It does increase her usage. It does increase her usage in N-Corp teams with the passives, and it increases her nail application. So it's not useless, but she's still going to be meta for sure. I think W Faust is going to be a great option, honestly. I think she's probably better than LobCorp, just generally speaking. Her clashing is good. Her skill 3 clashes for, like, again, it clashes for, like, what is it? It clashes for, like, 17 at 5 plus charge. A little bit hard to achieve 5 plus charge because her skill 2 also spends the charge, but it's not awful. And the debuff she brings is genuinely, like, pretty decent. Would I use her over Gripper? Probably not. Could I see you using her over Gripper? Like, probably not. But she definitely goes from she went from waste of thread to usable, so that's a pretty big improvement. So yeah, for sure. I'd say usable. Not like great option. I think Gripper is still far and away the best option for her. But she's definitely usable. Then we got Faust Egos. She has 4 Egos. You already know these 3 are fantastic, and this one is, like, you know, kind of the lost child, but we'll see if anything changes. Representation Emitter, instead of healing for 10 sanity, it heals 12. We're literally, what they're doing is just trolling, bro, because it used to heal 12, now it heals 10 after the nerf, and then now they're unnerfing it with Uptie 4. Yeah, you little freaking rats, you little scoundrels. I'd say little to no practical improvement. It's not that much sanity. 2 more. It's a net 6. It's not going to change its usage that much. You literally don't get that much. You're literally paying you're paying a large amount of thread and Faust shards in order to unnerf your representation emitter a little bit, because it still only targets a few other allies, so it doesn't target herself, and it doesn't hit the whole team. But you're just paying to unnerf it a little bit, so I mean, it's just not really that. It's not a practical improvement. And then it's still usable. Not like fantastic anymore. After the multitude of nerfs that came its way, I'd say it's usable. It's not like crazy good or anything, but it's definitely usable for sure. Next we get Tet tier, Hex Nail. Let's see if Hex Nail gets anything good. Uh Heads hit, inflict 3 nails. And then what even is curse? I don't think I've ever read the curse debuff. I've used this thing so many times I've never even read curse. Turn endgame one of the following, then reduce this effect's count by 1. 1 attack power down over 1. Defense power down over 2. Offense level down. It's slash. Oh, it's or. 1 attack power down, or 1 defense power down, or 1 offense level down, or 2 offense level down, or 2 defense level down. Like, it's just not good. If the target has curse, deal plus 50% damage. You're not using this for damage usually. And this would require you to chain it back to back, basically, which is not the most ideal thing because it's bad for sanity management. And this thing does kind of eat up your envy. So, you know, heads hit inflict 3 nails is funny. It is funny. But I'd say again, Hex Nail, where is it? Hex Nail, little to no practical improvement. There's not going to be very much improvement from this thing. You don't usually use it for damage, and 3 nails is, you know, a marginal improvement, if anything. So, yeah. And then it's still going to be a niche ego. For sure. It's still going to be niche. So, you know, make of that what you will. Anyways. Fluid Sac. The poster child of support egos. Fluid Sac gains heads after a heads attack. After a heads attack, this is a new trigger, by the way. I don't think there's any other triggers in the game that trigger after heads attack end, so that's neat. And it heals 10 sanity for all allies. Sheesh, that is damn good. Tails hit inflict 10 sanity damage, not like crazy or anything. And then on hit inflict 2 attack power down. Instead of next turn. Is that what changes? No, it's literally the same thing. What the hell did they change? I have no idea what this even changed. I feel like this they're just trolling me. Am I schizo or what? Anyways, you know, it's literally just for this. You're never overclocking this in the first place, right? So this literally does not matter. But heal 10 sanity for all allies after a heads attack end. Holy shit, bro. Fluid Sac was good. Substantial improvement. Fantastic. Literally. Insane improvement. And it's still going to be super meta. So, you know, this seems kind of backwards because it was already really good, but with the increased emphasis on ego usage, people seem to be struggling hard with sanity management. Just generally speaking, people seem to be struggling hard with sanity management. So, you know, her Fluid Sac is going to be very, very strong. It's going to remain very strong, and this will help you substantially with sanity management. Because now this alone heals for 25 sanity, which is enough to offset pretty much almost every ego in the game, except for, like, the really big ones. And then we have Telepole, again. I don't have it uptied, so we're gonna go over here. Let's set this to 3, and then we'll go Telepole over here. So what does Telepole get? It goes from attack weight 1 to attack weight 3, so it goes to AoE Telepole. So it's similar to Heathcliff, I suppose, in that sense. Instead of on hit, it goes to after attack. Why? I don't feel like it changes much, honestly. And then heads attack end, apply 1 envy power up and 1 haste. to 2 random allies next turn, and this unit gains 3 charge. I mean, like, it's not that good. I mean, it's an improvement, but it's not it's not that much of an improvement, honestly. And then down here, I'm just looking down here as well. It turns into an AoE, but it's not like that good. I don't know. It's still not great. It's a non-zero improvement. I'd say it's a non-zero improvement. The only thing really the only thing you get is it turns into an AoE. But like if you're using an AoE, just use Fluid Sac. It's I mean like what does this thing cost again? I mean it is pretty cheap to be fair. I'll say fair and I'll bump it up to fair/fun improvement. But it's still going to be like, you know, I don't want to say waste of thread. I kind of do want to say waste of thread. I still think it's not that good. There's better AoE options. Her other 2 egos are AoE and they're just better. So yeah, I'd say waste of thread. Still nothing really changed there. Don Quixote. Don Quixote. We'll start with base again. From 3 to 7 to 4 to 7. Pretty neat. Not crazy or anything. 4 to 12 instead of what? 4 to 10? Yeah, 4 to 10. You know, fine, I guess. And then on heads hit inflicts 2 bleed now, which is neat, I guess. Nothing crazy. And then her skill 3 for justice. Now gains some bleed support instead of nothing, which is cool. It's not like an insane amount of bleed support or anything, but it is neat. It is a neat amount of bleed support. So, you know, it's fine, I guess. Not crazy or anything. Fun for gimmick builds, but you know, little to no practical improvement probably. I mean, it is a bleed support. I mean, like. I mean, +2 bleed count is not nothing, to be honest. It's not nothing. I'd say, like, you know, non-zero, maybe. It's not completely worthless. She does actually gain a niche. She gains a bleed niche. But, I'd still say probably a waste of thread. She's not gonna see much, like, I don't know why you would pick her. I mean, like, you know, she does inflict bleed, but it's not that good. So, you know, I'll say, that's what I'll say. And then I have neither of these uptides, so we're going to be using Kusoge for these. Let's go to Shi section, I suppose, first. Shidon. We'll set you to uptide 3. What do you get? On use, gain 2 haste. Sure. And then your stuff gets boosted a little bit. Okay, so she gains more haste support, basically. She basically gains more haste support so that she can actually activate the Overbreathe, because this was pretty much impossible to activate most of the time. So, yeah. She gains, on use, gain 2 haste next turn, which is fair. Pretty damn good, honestly. At less than 50%, gain 4 haste instead of 2, so this doubles as well. Pretty good. And this also on hit gives you 1 more, and it gives you a little bit of poise, but we don't care about poise. Does not literally does not matter at all. So, you know, all she really gets is just a boost to haste. I don't think it really increases her usage that much. I think she's still gonna be niche. Like niche to usable. I'd say still probably usable. And then, you know, it's a fair improvement. Because now you can actually have hope of activating this. And haste is just a good stat to have overall. So her skill 1 gets a massive improvement here. Her skill 1 gets a major improvement. This is basically body sack on a basic skill. Which is, you know, nothing to sneeze at. It's just that Shidon is pretty much just always going to be overshadowed by Wdon in most cases. So, you know, it's a fair improvement. Usable for sure, I'd say. Usable for sure. Then we go to Mittelhammer. Mittelhammer, what does she get? She gets 1 bonus nail, 1 bonus tremor. She gets plus 10% damage here. Yeah, she gets plus 10% damage on her skill 2, I guess. And then she inflicts double the nails on her skill 3. I mean, her nail support is definitely better. That's undeniable. Her damage is a little bit better, but it's nothing major. I mean, it is an improvement. It's like a non-zero improvement. I'd say it's not like it's not crazy. The applications are not really fantastic or anything. Uh, she's still a very mid ID anyway. I'd say, you know, probably still a waste of thread. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see a real usage for her. I guess like maybe could be niche in an N Corp team because there is a support for N Corp teams, but like, like she doesn't really have that much usage, so I'm gonna keep her on Waste of Thread, to be honest. In the meta, like this is again from a meta perspective. N Corp is probably like Mittelhammer's never gonna be meta. I feel like. W Don. At 5 plus charge, gain coin flower plus 2. You know, pretty decent. We do enjoy this. Usually it's not gonna come up that much. But her skill 1 does also double the amount of charge count she gains on heads. It goes from 2 charge count to 4. Nothing groundbreaking. Like it doesn't like change any breakpoints on the charge gain, but you know, it doesn't change any breakpoints on the charge gain, but it is nice to have extra charge. Does help you get over the 5 plus charge count. And likewise here, this triggers 7 plus charge count, coin power plus 1, which is nice to have. And then her evade gets gloom resonance, which is neat. Overall, overall it's a non-zero improvement, I'd say. Might even go to fair improvement. But it's not like crazy. It doesn't change any of her setups in almost any way at all. It almost doesn't change any of her setups. But it's like, you know, it's a fair improvement. Nothing bad or anything. W Corp still gonna remain meta. You know, W Corp's still gonna remain meta. I feel like most of the time the charge is not going to, like, this is probably not gonna come up most of the time. But it is an improvement. You know, okay, this clashes for 19 instead of 16, which is pretty big. All right, you know what? I'll bump you back to fair. It's a fair improvement, and she's still gonna remain meta. Egos, let's do Sangre. They did rework Sangre. Now it has a passive for Immoderate Passion. On hit, if target had bleed, heal 3. It's like, hey, guess what? Now I know. It's like the it's like that fairy festival. It's like the fairy festival Abno card in Library of Ruina. Hey, I remember. See, now you get lifesteal. I like that. See, I'm a pretty smart guy. But yeah, they did rework a bunch of the base egos. So again, this is also kind of a base ego rating as well, because I don't remember most of what they did except for Massacre My Boy, Body Sack. So you know, uh, I'd say already this boosts up the usage fair amount, and then her base ego basically just gains an extra 3 coin power and then an extra, what, 2 bleed? Yeah, 2 bleed. So it's like a non-zero improvement, I'd say. It's not like crazy or anything. It can clash for what, 26 now instead of 23, which is definitely good. 26, the difference between 26 and 23 is a breakpoint. 24 is where most floor 5 bosses are clashing for, is like around 24. So this could technically start outclashing things, which it couldn't before. Definitely not a terrible improvement just for that. It's still probably going to be a waste of thread. Like, I still probably wouldn't use it. It's a non-zero improvement though, just because that 24 is a substantial breakpoint. But like, it's Don base ego. Like, I probably would not. I would not thread it. I don't see a reason to. Lifetime Stew, I don't have Uptied, so we're going to be using this for Lifetime Stew. Is there a way to search Don? It just searches by name. Oh wait, no, hold on, Sinner, Don Quixote. There we go. I like this. Go Don Quixote. We'll go Lifetime Stew. What does this gain? Your guess is as good as mine. They don't even have... No, they do. It just doesn't show up for some reason. Okay. Well, you know, at least it's there. Looks like it just turns into an AoE. That's the only change. It goes from a 1-slot to a 3-slot AoE. Honestly, that's pretty good. Honestly, it's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad. I'd say Lifetime Stew, where is it? Lifetime Stew, solid improvement. Solid improvement. I like that. Is it going to be meta? Probably not. I'd say usable for sure. It does gorge your lust a lot, like it is heavy on lust. Generally with egos, you don't want them to be heavy on a single resource, you want them to be spread out. That way you could spam it more easily. Because generating a shit ton of lust to spam this is going to be pretty challenging no matter what. So, you know, and then it also starts gorging all of your ego resources into a lust resource. I feel like this passive is just a downside, if anything. I feel like there's just, like, there's no reason to use this. Like, the passive is just a downside, if anything. I don't think it's, like, I don't think it's that good. So, I'd say its usage is still going to be, like, still going to be niche to usable. I don't think it's going to be that crazy or anything, but, I mean, the thing is, the damage is pretty substantial, so it is usable. Some people already kind of used it for damage. Not many people, to be fair. But some people did use it for damage on single target, like when they wanted to outclash something. Because this actually does do a nice amount of damage, and this, being AoE, multiplies the amount of damage that this will do. So, you know, it's a solid improvement for sure, and then it goes to usable, I'd say. And then we have Fluid Sac. Let's go to Fluid Sac real quick here. That's Uptie 2. This also goes to an AoE. I noticed instantly it goes to an AoE. It inflicts 2 sinking, which is like pretty much nothing. And then Tremor and sinking. I mean, I don't think it changes its usage that much. It's I'd say non-zero improvement. You're not using Fluid Sac. You're not using Fluid Sac over Teledon most of the time. Did I rank Teledon on here? I didn't. It's still gonna be meta. I did. Oh, because I did not look at Teledon yet. Okay, that's why. I was like, dude, where the hell is Teledon? It's because I didn't look at it yet. Alright, put this back. But yeah. Fluid Sac, I'd say it's a non-zero improvement. Going to AoE is nothing to scoff at. But again, we don't want our egos to be heavy on one resource. This is heavy on Gloom. So it's not, like, spammable or anything. And then its main usage was just outclashing in Hard Mirror Dungeon. Like, everywhere else besides that, just using it to outclash stuff in Mirror Dungeon, this is not going to be useful, I don't think. I think it's still going to be a niche ego, so we'll say it's still niche. Definitely not a complete waste of thread. It still has usage in the meta. It still has usage. But, you know, it's not that much usage. It's not that much usage, okay? And then, you know, Telepole. After attack, give charge count to all allies by resonance instead of heads hit. Huge improvement. This is already insanely good. And then, I don't think we care about this that much. This is just heads hit again, right? Yeah, it changes to after attack instead of heads hit. I'd say this is substantial improvement. Honestly, I'd say this is substantial quality of life improvement. Because, again, this sanity drain happens after the clash, but before the coin rolls for the attack. So, when you're at 45 sanity, you will only ever have a 75% chance to hit heads on this. So, you know, you will only have a 75% chance to hit heads on this. Now you're guaranteed to get the charge for all allies by Envy Resonance, which is absurdly good. Also, it turns into an AoE, which is neat. I don't think it's that useful, but it's neat, which is cool. So I'd say substantial improvement. Still going to be turbo meta. Where is my beloved? There we go. Still going to be extremely meta. I think. So, yeah, yeah, extremely good, extremely good. A substantial improvement for sure. It's hard to be a substantial improvement on Teledon, so, I mean, that's in itself already great. So that's Don. Now we go on to, Ryoshu. Uh, Ryoshu, base, she goes from 3 to 7 to 4 to 7. Very neat, I guess. Uh, Splatter goes from 4 plus 4 to 4 plus 5, by 2, which is neat. And then her skill 3 gains 1 extra, I believe. Yeah, 1 extra coin power. So it goes to 14. Not an insane amount of clash power bonus, to be honest, but it's not it goes, yeah, it goes up to 14. Not crazy. And then she gains poise. I mean, like, dude, who the hell? Why do you have poise? No reason at all, pretty much. I'd say, you know, I mean, little to no practical improvement for sure. Little to no practical improvement for sure. And then, you know, probably a waste of thread. Doesn't her usage is very niche. I don't think you'd ever really use her. We gotta start filling out these tiers actually. Why do I have nothing in great option? I'll put Dawn in great option. She Dawn. We'll do that. We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. You know what? Solid improvement. Yeah, you know what? Solid improvement. I think. So yeah, we'll do that. Sure. Just because it looks a little goofy. Then we have what, 7 section? Let's see what 7 sections got for us. Not keyword, Sinner. Ryoshu. 7 section, South section 6. Same over here. She does not change at all, or am I crazy? It's just the counter skill? Is this real? She literally does not change anything except the counter skill? I mean, sure. What the hell? Okay, I mean, that's kind of goofy. Where is she? Here we go. Little to no practical. She's still gonna be usable for sure, though. I think. Still usable for sure, definitely. Then, you know what? Great option. She's a great option. I could see you using her over Chef, so I'll say great option. Kurakumo. Kurakumo gets extra damage for the most part. 2 plus bleed count, deal 20% damage. 5 plus bleed count, deal 20% damage. This also gives you plus 3 instead of plus 1, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so that is a pretty solid improvement there. Plus 3 bleed count. And then, you know, 9 plus bleed count, deal 40% damage. And then her guard gets buffed, whatever. So she gets, like, gimmicky damage triggers on all of her skills. The thing is, this ID is not a damage dealer. So, most of the time, this is not going to be super useful. The only thing she really gets is apply 3 plus bleed count instead of 1. So, you know, I'd say it's like, where even is she, man? Oh, over here? I'd say non-zero improvement. Fair improvement. It's a fair improvement. She does become, once again, she does reign supreme as the premier bleed support. Her skill 2 especially applies a really solid amount of bleed count now, if you are to do that. But, you know, Kurakuma overall, still going to be, like, niche. Her only usage is in bleed teams, so it's still going to be niche, just inherently. You're not gonna use her outside of a bleed team. So, you know, I'd say she's still niche. And then we have Chef. Chef gains 1 appetite on skill 1. Her skill 2 gains appetite 2 on use. Inflicts 3 bleed instead of 1, I think. Instead of 2 bleed. And then, you know, her guard gets, or her evade gets a resonance. Literally no improvement, practically. Like, no practical improvement, to be honest. her heal, it does boost her healing, but like her healing was already fine enough. Like I'm not gonna say healing is like, I'm not gonna say extra healing is bad. It's obviously not bad. This will help her stack appetite faster, but like she already could stack appetite just fine. I'd say you don't need to uptie this. And I think she's still going to be meta. Then we have our egos. I don't have the Red Eyes Tat tier ego, so we're gonna use Kusage for that. But Force for the Flames goes from 18 plus 6 to 18 plus 10. Fantastic change. Now this clashes for almost 30, which is nuts. And it gets 1 extra fragile, which is really, really good. Like, absurdly good improvement, I'd say. So, alright. Sorry about the awkward cut. Something came up, but we're back. Where was I? Oh, yeah. We're ranking Force for the Flames. I'd say substantial improvement, honestly. Seems really, really good, for sure. This doesn't become AoE, does it? No, we're good. Alright, just making sure. Force for the Flames, substantial improvement. Again, the passive got reworked. It went from useless to mostly useless still. So, not crazy or anything, but, whoopsies. Not what I meant to click. But yeah, Force of the Flames, it's gonna be a great option. Not meta or anything. Yeah, it's gonna be a great option, usable. Great option, I'd say. Too fragile next turn on a base ego is a very, very handy setup tool for sure. And it now clashes for 28, which is a very respectable number. For a base ego, especially for a base ego, 28 is a huge number. So then we go to, then we're going to, yeah, we're going to 4th match, or nah, Red Eyes. We're going to Red Eyes. Let's go tier 3. It just turns into an AoE. How much more usage is that? Not much. Like, the thing is, usually with setup tools inflicting fragility, right? Like, usually for setup tools, you're only going to be hitting one person. Like, if you're doing it on a boss, right, you don't really spread out your damage across multiple parts on a boss. So, the setup tool usage does not change. But it is a cheap AoE / ego now, which is definitely a niche in and of itself. So, I'd say, do I just go substantial improvement? I mean, like, it is a very, very cheap / AoE ego. The thing is, Red Eyes Open is also a cheap / AoE ego. So, I mean, I would say substantial improvement. I would even say it's probably going to be meta. And you might look at it, you're like, yeah, well, it's a free ego. Like, she has no other Tet tier egos. Of course you're going to run it. Well, yeah. Same thing with Lifetime Stew. But, like, that's down and usable. So, I think, as a spammable AoE / option, probably pretty damn solid. And then we have both of our Hate tier egos. Start with 4th match. 4th match Flame, turns into an AoE. Pretty neat. Deal... what is this? It's just a new effect, I guess. Deal plus 5% damage per 1 burn on the target. Max of 100% at 20 burn. Neat, I suppose. Neat. And then on kill, gain it plus 2 attack power up. That doesn't change. It turns into an AoE and then gets burn support. I think it's still pretty solid. The usage doesn't change in a major way. It is a fair and fun improvement. It's a solid improvement. I'd say it's a solid improvement. I'd say it's usable for sure. Not crazy. The only thing is, again, we don't want our egos to be gorging one major resource. So, the fact that it uses a lot of wrath is a little bit annoying, but not crazy. And then you would only use it in burn teams because Red Eyes Open is just better most of the time. It's ego resource usage. Like, as an AoE, the usage is more balanced on Red Eyes Open. The ego resource spread is much more balanced, so it's a lot less cumbersome to spam, right? So as an AoE option, this is still going to be better, probably. But it does still have usage, right? It does still have usage. So it's above niche. Coin power plus 7 instead of coin power plus 4. Pretty neat. This also deals plus 40% instead of 20%, so that doubles, which is cool. And then this is, you know, you're not really overclocking this ego, though. So, coin power plus 7 is neat. This will then clash for how much? It goes from 30 to, 33. Not awful. And then this doubles the damage bonus. So now it's a real payoff. Now it is a real payoff. So, I think it's a... I mean, it's still going to be meta. I think this is probably a fair improvement. It's not, like, crazy or anything. It doesn't change the usage or anything at all. It just makes what's already good a little bit better, you know? It makes what's already good a little bit better. So I'd say it's a fair improvement. Anyways, Meursault. Meursault gets a little spicy here. I don't have any of his egos uptied except for Pursuance, so, you know, we're gonna have to do whatever. But we'll go with base. It goes from 2 to 4 to 3 to 4. Fine, I guess. And then Nailing Fist gets a power bonus on both. Gets +1 to coin power and base power. Pretty neat. And then his skill 3 inflicts a lot of tremor, I guess. On heads, it now inflicts a lot of tremor. Kind of fun. It also is not completely deplorable now. At least it can clash for double digits, but I mean, that's about it. I'd still say, you know, I mean, the improvement that he gets is like non-zero. It's like a non-zero improvement. He does get like fair improvement across the board. It's a non-zero improvement. Because all of his skills gain at least, like, you know, something relevant. But, you know, I'd probably still put him in little to no. Because, again, the keyword is little to no practical improvement, right? Like, sure, like, on paper, like, this is helpful, but, like, practically speaking, his usage does not really get a boost or anything, right? It's still, like, not that good. He gets 3 tremor on his skill 3. Like, wow. Like, wow. Still going to be a waste of thread to uptie. Then we have Rose Spanner. We'll go with Rose Spanner first. If the target has 5+ tremor count, coin power +2. That's just a new effect. Pretty neat. 5+ tremor count is not the easiest thing to accomplish. So, you know, I'll say, you know, probably this hardly ever comes up. Target has 7+ tremor count, final power +1. Again, hardly ever comes up. 10+ tremor count, coin power +1. So, you know, this is like no improvement pretty much. Like literally no improvement. Practically speaking. There is literally no improvement practically. Because practically speaking, you're not hitting 5+ tremor count most of the time. You're almost certainly not hitting 7+. And you're pretty much never hitting 10+. So, you know, that's like the only thing he gets. I'd say his usage is still niche. Liu Meursault. Liu Meursault, his coin 2 inflicts 2 burn instead of 1. Neat. We go from, what, 6 to 7? Yeah, 6 to 7, which is neat. And then it inflicts 3 burn on 2 random enemies instead of 2 burn. Cool. And then Perfected Death Fist. If target has 5+ burn, coin power +1, baby. Coin power +1. So, this goes from, what, 14 to 17. That, in and of itself, is pretty strong. So we do enjoy Perfected Death Fist. 5+ burn is easy peasy lemon squeezy to get in even a burn core, not even a burn team. You just need like a small burn core, and you'll be able to accomplish this very easily. So I'd say, you know, the improvement that Liu Meursault gets. Where is he? here. The improvement is fair. It's a fair improvement, you know. We do enjoy seeing it. And I'd say he's still usable. He's usable, for sure. Then we have we'll do N-Corp, I suppose. N-Corp, they're introducing the aggro mechanic. This is taunt. Basically, in this game, it's a taunt mechanic. Not forces, but incentivizes, I suppose, the enemy AI to attack when you have +4 aggro compared to your other units, right? So, gain +4 aggro to the skill slot next turn. Pretty neat. At less than 50% health, coin power +2. So now it doesn't clash for literally the worst skill in the game. Pretty much like 7 clash power is just humiliating. Then it clashes for 11, which is a normal number. Yay! But most of the value is going to be the aggro. Again, most of the value is going to be the aggro. It also inflicts 2 attack power down instead of 1, which is neat. And then, again, most of the use is going to be the aggro. Heal HP plus 3% for each of the target's nails. Pretty neat. Overall, substantial improvement just because of the aggro mechanic. It actually does turn him into a tank. Genuinely. It does turn him into a tank. He can actually pull aggro from people. So this is the premier Meursault tanking ID, pretty much. I think. Maybe. I mean, it depends. His resistances are fatal to blunt, so I'd still say his usage is niche. Overall, I'd still say his usage is niche. But the improvement to his kit is substantial, just because of the aggro mechanic alone. Because now he can actually pull aggro from enemies, which is nice, right? It's really nice. So then we have W Corp, and then we'll finish it with Rhino. I don't own Rhino, but it's no big deal. Let's go to Meursault. Let's go W Corp. And then we'll go Uptie 3. W Corp is exciting, for the record. Skill 1. Gains 3 charge count on use. Love to see that. Now his skill 1 is good. 11. Rolls for 11. It rolls for 11, and it gives you 6 charge. That's pretty good. And 2 slash prot is very niche. But like, this almost never comes up anyway, so we mostly ignore it. But 6 charge on a skill 1, we appreciate it. And the coin roll is good. After that, at 5 plus charge count, coin power +1. So it goes from 5 plus 2 to 5 plus 3. So, you know, instead of, what is that? That's 6. So this clashed for 11 before. Now it can clash for 14, which is a solid improvement, not anything mind-blowing or anything, but it's a solid improvement. And then same thing with his skill 3. At 5 plus charge count, coin power +1. So now his skill 3 can clash for, instead of, what was it before? Like something, it was awful. It was like, what was it? 2x4, so 8 plus 5, 13. So instead of 13, now clashing for 17, which gets over that, it gets over that that 16 like magic number-ish where you want to be, right? It gets over that kind of 16 range magic number. And he actually has a way to charge himself. So, like, and this is enough charge to get him over this threshold in 1 turn. Because +3 charge, you lose 1 at the start of the turn, so you have 5, right? If at 5 plus, coin power +1. So he actually has a gameplay flow now. And he actually has solid numbers. Genuinely. W Corp Meursault. I know, crazy. But he has solid numbers. Substantial improvement. And honestly, great option. Might even be the meta option. Genuinely, might even be the meta option. But for now, I'll say great option until I see what Rhino Meursault has. Because once we see what Rhino has, then we can start talking, right? So, what does Rhino get? On use gain charge. Love to see on use gain charge again. On the Meursault Rhino ID review, I mentioned that on hit charge is a little bit risky, a little bit scuffed. So having that safety blanket of +2 charge on hit, on use rather, is definitely welcome. Same thing on a skill 2. It also gains 4 charge on use. Very nice. Also, this coin 2 goes from heads hit to on hit, which is quality of life more than anything. And then it looks like Rhino Slam also doubles the coin power bonus here. Instead of plus one coin power at 10 plus charge, it gains plus 2 coin power at 10 plus charge. So now this clashes for what, 21 at 10 plus charge, and he actually can charge himself semi-respectively. So I mean, you know, and then his guard skill also. If attacked while shielded, gain plus 2 charge count. You know, it's fine. I'd say Rhino, again, substantial improvement for sure. Just the payoff, his payoff on his skill 3 is now worth playing around. And he can actually charge himself, because before, his only charge gain was like 2 per turn or 4 per turn. This shit took forever to charge, and then the payoff was terrible. But now, like I said before, I was like, you know, okay, the only way he's going to be really good is if he gets like W Don style numbers, and he's approaching W Don style numbers. Also, his meta relevance. He's one of the whoopsies. He has one of the only he's one of the only IDs that people would, you know, feasibly bring that have a resistance to blunt, so they can tank blunt attacks. Because all of the other meta IDs, like like Rabbit and W Don and like Gripper Faust, I think Spice Bush too. Yeah, they're all fatal to blunt. So if you're trying to tank an attack in in Mirror Dungeon Hard, Rhino's your guy. Rhino's your guy. So again, substantial improvement. Substantial improvement. And I would say, Rhino, where are you? Rhino, he's gonna be going in, I want to say meta, honestly. I feel like that's his best ID. It's either W Corp or Rhino. I feel like they're both great. I'd say Rhino's probably better, because we don't really need Meursault to be a damage dealer, but they're both really, really good now. Defense level down, and his speed is really strong, so you can actually get use out of this. Yeah. No, I like this. I think they're both really good. Who would I put as more? I think they're both meta. You can pick whichever one you want, honestly. I feel like they're both pretty damn good. Probably obviously his best options, is what I mean. Like, you're not going to be competing with W Don or anything, but I'd say these are both definitely very strong, for now. I'd say maybe W Corp's a little bit worse, but he has solid utility. Like, he inflicts 8 defense level down, up to 8. Usually you're not going to be inflicting 8. You're going to be inflicting like 4, which is still good. 4 defense level down is still good. So, you know, we take those. We take those for sure. I'd say probably Rhino is meta. W Corp. I could go either way on this. I'd say great option, W Corp. I'd say Rhino you'd probably use. Then we have Hong Lu. I actually have all his stuff uptied, except for his Rosette Desire, but that's okay. Oh yeah, one thing that I forgot to mention, I'm not ranking Sonk section, Dawn, because she just came out, so, you know, there's not really a reason to rank her. Also, she's not even on the tier list, so... Oh wait, I forgot to do Meursault's Egos. Of course. My bad. Chains of Others. What does this gain? Instead of 4 bind, you gain 3 bind, or 5 bind, you gain 3 bind. I mean, doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, like, little to no practical, I'd say, probably. It's like, not crazy or anything. Usually, it's enough bind that you're going to be moving last anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Little to no practical improvement. It's still going to be a great option, though. It's still going to be a great option, but I'd say it works pretty much the same. It works the same at Uptie 3, or Threadspin 3 that it does at Threadspin 4. So, you know. Screw Loose Wallop, we're gonna have to check. Let's check Screw Loose Wallop real quick here. Wait 2, so it just turns into a 2-slot AoE. I mean, like, the thing is you're not really using this thing for damage. It does inflict Paralyze, but, like, it's a fair improvement, I'd say. I mean, it doubles its Paralyze application. I'd say it's, like, a non-zero improvement, though. I mean, like, I'd say it's, like, a fair improvement. It's not, like, nah, it's a non-zero improvement. You're mostly not using it. It's still going to be very it's gonna be niche. I think it's gonna be niche. Yeah, that's probably where I would put it. Like, in the grand scheme of the meta, it's still going to be niche. Now that he actually has damage dealing IDs though, like Rhino does solid damage now. And so does W Corp. He's mostly a DPS like support unit, but he also does fair damage. So, you know, in the meta, there is a niche for it now because he can actually deal damage. But the improvement that it gets from becoming a 2-slot AoE is not that big. Like, the only thing you get is, like, you can apply Paralyze to 2 different things, I guess, but it's not, like, it's not that crazy. You're mostly using it for the surgery, and it does not give you any more surgery than it used to. So, you know, that's where I would put it. Yeah, that's where I would put it. And then we have, what else? We have Capote. Capote inflicts 10 burn, and then 3 burn on 5 random, and then his Overclock Capote turns into an AoE, and inflicts 12 burn on hit as an AoE. I'd say probably it's a fair improvement. Inflicting 12 burn on 3 different people on a single ego is nothing to sneeze at. Definitely nothing to sneeze at, nothing to scoff at. I'd say it's still, again, probably niche. Still probably niche. It's, like, usable. It's probably usable. For sure. I'd say it's probably usable. Even standalone, it's still a fair amount of damage. So, that's where I would put that. And then we have Pursuance. Check out Pursuance. Attack weight 3, so at baseline it's an AoE. Very, very nice. It's a little heavy on Sloth, but it is what it is. And what? That's it? It just turns into an AoE? This just turns into an AoE. Alright. How much value is Pursuance as an AoE? Pretty good. I'd say also fair. Fair improvement. It doesn't really gain much else. It's probably solid. I'd say solid improvement. Yeah, I'd say it's a solid improvement. Honestly, I'd bump Capote up to solid improvement as well. And then Pursuance is still going to be a great option. No matter what. I think it's always going to be a great option. So, you know. That's where I would put that. Yeah, that's probably where I would put those, for sure. Alright, Honglu. For real this time, Honglu. Let's go base ID, you get +1. Sure, whatever. Inflict 2 sinking instead of 1. Cool, I guess. And then you gain, what is it, +2? Nah, it's just +1. And then you inflict sinking and rupture. And then your guard skill, or your evade skill gets a, your evade skill gets a attribute, sure. You're still not really going to be using base Honglu. He has better things to be doing. I'd say little to no practical improvement. He inflicts sinking and rupture, like, a pitiful amount. Like, a pitiful amount of sinking and rupture. Yeah. So I'd say little to no practical improvement, and probably still a waste of thread. He has better things to be doing. Then we'll go Kurikumo. 4 to 7, a welcome change. 4 to 6 is like, you know, eh. The 10 threshold is real. Not crazy or anything, but, you know, it's appreciated. A boost to his clashing is appreciated. Not crazy, though. It inflicts 1 more bleed, you know, sure. 50% bleed buff on skill 1. I guess it's not nothing. On hit, inflict 2 bleed instead of on heads. Yeah, sure. Not crazy. Again. And then Cloudburst gets a +1 base power. And that's it. So, you know, I'd say it's a non-zero improvement. But for the most part, it does not really change his gameplay that much. I'd say probably little to no practical improvement. I mean, it is a bonus. Like, it is a buff, but it's not like it doesn't like open any doors or anything, right? I'll say non-zero. You know what? I'll bump Chef up to non-zero as well. I guess, you know, I maybe undervalued her healing. At least, like, her healing does stack up, so I will actually say non-zero improvement. Kurakumo, same thing. It's like a something, I guess. It's a something improvement, I guess. And he's still going to be a great option for sure. Oh, his other 2-star, Liu, right. My bad. If target is 6+ burn count, coin power +2. That's his skill 2, right? Yeah. So just a new effect for coin power +2. So this will go for 14 now instead of 10. Definitely very appreciated. 6+ burn count is not easy to accomplish though outside of a burn team, a dedicated burn team. Same thing with Crimson Blaze Fist. So, you know, outside of a dedicated burn team, this is not the easiest thing to accomplish. Again, he does inflict a solid amount of burn count himself, right? I will not discount his skill 2 inflicts 4 burn count on its own, but you need to use this twice in order to get them above 6+ burn count. After which point, you know, you will not even have it in rotation because you'll have used both of them. You know? So, I mean, I'd say probably little to no practical improvement. It's not the easiest thing in the world to accomplish, and even then, I mean, the bonus is good, but it's not fantastic. You know, getting to 6+ burn count is not the easiest thing outside of, again, a dedicated burn team. So, I'd say, you know, he's still going to remain niche. For sure. He's still going to remain niche. And he does get, like, almost no practical improvement. Then we have Ting Tang. Ting Tang, his skill 1 gets drastically better from 5 to 6 to 5 to 8, which is already fantastic, because now this skill actually clashes for what its second best clashing in the game for skill 1. So this is a fantastic change already. This is Shank. It says Jag, which is base Gregor skill is Jag, so it's bugged, but don't worry, it's Shank. If target is 7+ bleed, deal 20% extra damage. Very hard to achieve outside of, again, a dedicated bleed team. But 20% extra damage on Shank is absurd because it rolls the coin 4 times. And then this is, you know, this is exactly the same. I don't know why this is yellow. And then reuse heads hit if target is 10+ bleed, deal +50% damage. This probably will hardly ever come up. And then if target is 5+ bleed, coin power +2 on evade, heal 3 sanity. It's a nice change. But evade skill is hardly ever used outside of like solos, for the most part. So, and like his bleed application itself is not that good. It's literally just his skill 1. So he himself cannot really activate Shank. Yeah, he himself cannot activate the Shank condition usually. And he has pretty much no hope of ever activating the Mutilate condition. So, you know, for the most part, I'd say it's a non-zero improvement just for the skill 1. Skill 1, this is already enough of a bonus, to be honest. The evade is whatever. On evade, heal 3 sanity is like, you know, a nice touch, but nothing insane. This is non-zero improvement. If you want to throw 50 shards and 150 thread away, just so that you can get his skill 1 up to snuff, that's fine with me. I mean, he's still going to be meta. He is still going to be meta. And then we have aggro on Konglu. Very exciting. If 5 plus rupture, coin power plus 3, instead of coin power plus 2. So that's pretty exciting. It goes to 14, which is, you know, tied for the most clash power on a skill 1. They need 5 rupture, but 5 rupture potency is not hard to get. And aggro is a very appreciated mechanic. Again, fantastic, right? This gets buffed, so now instead of 15, it clashes for 16, around the magic number, so we do appreciate this. And then at 80% HP or more, coin power plus 2, instead of coin power plus 1. Fantastic change overall. Now this clashes for 8 plus 6 by 2, so 20, which is extremely good. 20 is a fantastic number. As long as we're over 18. Remember, 18 is around the magic number we want for, like, starting at high end, right? 16 is like, you know, 16 is like, you know, starting to get good. 18 is where we start to get great, right? So this breaks the great threshold now, which is great. And then Ampule Injection gets a buff and gives aggro. Overall, a phenomenal, substantial improvement for Honglu, or Konglu, I suppose. Substantial improvement. The taunt mechanic, the introduction of the taunt mechanic, aggro mechanic rather, is extremely appreciated. And then his excise target gets an absurd amount of clashing power now. So I'd say, you know, he's probably going to be meta, honestly. In Mirror Dungeon 2, if you don't want to run with Ting Tang because you don't like clashing with Mutilate, his invincibility can be used because of aggro. Tanks actually have a method to tank attacks now because of aggro, right? Before there was no way to get, like, the problem was, sure, you have a million HP, but, like, you can't make the enemies hit you, so the HP doesn't matter. Now you can make the enemies hit you, which is extremely good. Extremely good. So, you know, I'd say, is he meta or great option? The thing is, you'd still rather be doing damage than tanking, I think, but he is, like, borderline meta, I think. It depends on what your definition of meta is. If you think Mirror Dungeon 2 Hard is, like, meta, then sure, you can put him in meta. I'll put him in great option, though, for sure. At the bare minimum, great option. But I think that it's substantial improvement for sure. Genuinely a substantial improvement, and I'd say, you know, he is probably meta. Why is I feel like all of these are, you know, Don is the only one in solid improvement for IDs. Oh well. Oh well. But yeah. Very, very nice. The introduction of the aggro mechanic has instantly made tank IDs much more usable in a team setting. So that is a fantastic change. Land of Illusion. Attack weight 3, so nothing changes. After attack, -2 sanity efficiency to all allies. What? -2 to amount of sanity lost from ego use. Amount of sanity lost from SP loss conditions. What is the purpose of this? Oh, it's -2. It's so it's a double negative. So you would lose less. You would lose 2 less for every time you lose sanity. And then you lose another 2 for ego usage. I mean, that's pretty good. The passive got reworked, right? Yeah, I mean, the passive doesn't really matter. I'd say for Land of Illusion, it's a fair improvement. It's a fair improvement. I like it. I definitely do like it. It does help with sanity management for the entire team. Every time you would use an ego, this gives you this knocks 4 sanity off of the the sanity cost. Every time you use an ego, this gets value. So I do enjoy this, actually. It's a fair improvement, for sure. It's still going to be a pretty decent option. Nothing crazy. Usable for sure is where I would put it. Not insanely good or anything. But definitely usable. Rosette Desire, I'm going to need to look up again. Ego List. Honglu. Rosette Desire. Let's go for Threadspin 3. Attack weight 3 turns into an AoE. Instead of 4, it inflicts 5. It's an AoE Pierce, which is not common. And it is, again, extremely cheap. A little heavy on Lust, but Lust is pretty easy to come by. So, I'd say Rosette Desire, where are you? Fair improvement. Honestly, fair improvement. Maybe even solid improvement. Nah, fair improvement. Fair improvement. I like that. I like that. And then it's still going to be a usable ego for sure. It's definitely usable. And then Dimension Shredder. This turns into an AoE as well. That's the only thing. Dim Shredder AoE. Targets the rearmost unit. So that hasn't changed. It does inflict a massive amount of Fragile. And a solid amount of Dimensional Rift. Does it change the usage that much? I mean, it is cheap. Cheap AoE slash. I'd say his Dimension Shredder probably gets a solid improvement. Solid improvement, I'd say. Probably solid improvement. Like, if it was... Like, the thing is, it costs Pride. That's the only thing knocking it right now for me. The only thing keeping it from... substantial... compared to Red Eyes... the only thing keeping it from substantial is that Red Eyes is cheaper. So it has more potential as an AoE spammable ego. This is not as spammable because Pride is harder to generate. That's the only reason. But it's still going to be a good... it's still going to be usable. Yeah, it's still going to be usable. So that's my assessment on Honglu. Then we have Heathcliff. Let's do base Heathcliff. 4 to 7, sure. So instead of 3 to 7, why not? His skill 2 inflicts Tremor. Okay, sure. And then his skill 3, Upheaval. This now clashes for, what is that, 20? That's spicy. Next coin also has +2 power, but that's only during the attack. Skill 2, his skill 3 clashing for 20. I do like that. Fair improvement. It's a fair improvement. Skill 2 clashing for 20 is nothing to sneeze at. 20 is, again, like, around where you start, like, above 18 is where you start getting, like, really good, right? So, I think it's pretty damn good. For sure. Niche, if anything. Niche, I'd say. Then we have the two 2-star Heathcliffs. Let's go... Whoops. Heathcliff, let's do She section first. Alright. Yeah. So, he gains Poise. On use, gain Poise, sure. At 50% HP, skill power +2. Alright, so now he doesn't have to be literally dead in order to... He doesn't have to be literally dead in order to use his stuff. At 50% instead, so he's now normal. Very nice, very nice. He gains a lot of Poise, sure. At 10 plus Poise count, skill power +2. Sure. At less than 50% HP, attack weight +1. Okay. Wait, that's actually... Because this turns into a 2-slot AoE, if that didn't register to you. Attack weight +1 means this turns into a 2-slot AoE. And then plus 50% skill damage for this coin twice. The problem is getting the Poise up. This is probably never happening. But even without this... I mean, it's an AoE skill 3. The amount of damage this can deal is definitely substantial. Plus, they fixed all of his thresholds. Instead of 25, now he's 50%. His guard skill, counter skill, we don't really care about the counter skill. This clash over 17 as well. If you can get the skill power up, it clashes for 19, but again, poise count doesn't really do anything. The amount of damage this can deal is substantial. 50% damage for this coin, 50% damage for this coin. Alright, well, obviously, she Heathcliff is going in substantial improvement. I still think he's usable. Is there a world where I justify using him over the meta unit? This clashes for 12. That's fine, I guess. This would clash for 12 above threshold. That's, like, fine. Flying Sword would clash for 17, which is good. Very nice. I don't know if I could see you using She-Section Heathcliff over Rabbit. Like, I don't think there's a justifiable reason to use him over Rabbit, so I won't put him in great option. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Yeah, alright. I'm down for that. I'll put him in great option. For sure. Yeah, I like that. I like what they did. Two slot AoE skill 3. That seems really good. I think, yeah, he definitely deserves great option, I think. Kleinhammer. He gets one more nail on skill 1. Is that it? That's literally it, isn't it? Am I missing something? Oh, the passive. The passive, of course. Did I miss a Don passive? Did Don have a Mitzelhammer passive? I don't think so, right? No. Alright, so Kleinhammer also gets a change to his passive. If 4 or more surviving units in the team, including this unit, are from N-Corp plus final power plus 1. I did notice they were pushing a full N-Corp's incentive to, like, an incentive to run multiple N-Corp units. I don't think this will change much. It does give him a usage, but the only thing besides that is plus nails. But plus final power to every single skill he gets is definitely nice. This goes to 15, this goes to 11, and then this goes to 17. Not bad or anything, not bad. I'd say, I mean, how much do I value the N-Corp synergy? Not highly. It doesn't really boost his usage that much. I'd say it's like non-zero improvement. Non-zero improvement. I'd say Kleinhammer, niche. Very niche. His support passive opens up the ability to run a full N-Corp team a little bit more, but that's about it, I think. And then we have Sun Shower. Umbrella Thwack. Clash lose, gain 3 sinking. I mean, like... Huh? I mean... If you're gonna do that, just use... If you're gonna clash lose, just use warning. I don't... what? Like, huh? Is it? Nah, okay. I don't see the reason for this. Is it like... Okay, on Clash lose, is it like... No, because the only time I would see this ever being useful is like if Clash lose means like, you know, you don't fully lose the Clash, but you lose the Clash partially. Like if you lose 2 coins, does that count as 2 Clash losses? Honestly, I don't really know. I'd have to test it, but I don't know off the top of my head. As far as I'm concerned, right now, Clash lose means you fully lost the Clash. In which case, why would you not just use counter skill? Is my reasoning. This gains an extra final power plus 2. Doesn't really solve his problem of trying to get down there in the first place. So, you know, I wish they added taunt to him. If they added aggro system to him, I would have liked it more. Besides that, I mean, he doesn't really gain that much. On use, instead of, what, 3 sinking, he gains 5. Eh. I'd say it's a fair improvement. It's a fair improvement. Uh, on use gain 5 sinking, on hit inflict 5 sinking. Uh, like, if he had a taunt mechanic, like, I wish they added aggro to him. That's my only thing. It's a fair improvement. I don't see, I mean, final power plus 2 is appreciated, but it doesn't fix many of his problems. I'd say he's still very niche. Niche to waste of thread. I'd say niche. If Kleinhammer's niche, then he's niche. I'll say. If he had aggro. Again, I keep saying it, but if he had aggro, it would be nice. Evade. On use, gain charge. Useless. None of it, remember, none of his skills are upgraded. Very cool. At 5 plus charge count, gain 1 haste and 1 attack power up. Okay. Always activate. At the start of the stage, gain 3 ammo. So, the only thing that he gets, basically the only thing that he gets is, what's it called? The only thing that he gets for Uptie 4 is 3 bonus ammo. Ammo was not really a problem for him if you knew how to manage it. So, I'd say, you know, Rabbit gets, like, little to no practical improvement. Like, again, if you knew how to manage ammo, then you did not run out of ammo no matter what, pretty much. Like, even on stages, like, I'm thinking stages like, stage 10, Slithering Inquisitor, Railway Line 1, Slithering Inquisitor, that stage is around, like, 7 to 9 turns long, if you're low turning. 7 to 9 turns long. I think mine was 8 turns. After 8 turns, I still had ammo left. As long as you just manage your ammo, you can easily make it work. Even an 8-turn long fight with Heathcliff attacking every single turn, it's still possible to have ammo left at the end. And same thing with like KQE. KQE is a shorter fight, 4 turns, but Heathcliff gets 2 slots in that fight. So it is important to manage his ammo there because he runs out twice as fast in 4 turns. Versus 1 slot over 8 turns, it's the same amount of ammo usage. And you still don't really run out of ammo there. So, I don't think Graze the Grass, not Graze the Grass. I don't think Raring to Graze. I don't think this additional passive on Raring to Graze is, like, that good. So I'll say, you know, you don't need to uptie him. It's hardly an improvement. It doesn't really change his gameplay at all. He's still going to be extremely good. So we'll still keep him in meta, for sure. Alright, Egos, Body Sack. After attack, gain 2 attack power up next turn. Man. Man. Oh, man. Because they're trying to give me back my Body Sack passive. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I'd say it's like fair improvement. It's it does give you bonus it does give you like it triples the attack power up bonus that it gives. So it is nice, for sure. Does not help me mourn the loss of our beloved support passive or our eco passive though. It's still going to be meta though. And then AEDD and Telepole I do not have uptied, so let's just let's head on over there. Go AEDD first. It turns into an AoE, and then after attack, spend all charge count. Why does it spend all charge count twice? On hit, spend all charge count to deal bonus damage. After attack, spend all charge count. Tails attack end. Tails hit. After the attack, lose 10% of max HP to gain plus 10 charge count. Tails attack end. What the fuck? I'm so confused. As far as I can tell, it just turns into an AoE. Which is, like, fine, I guess. I hardly even understand what the fuck is going on here. You know what, Kusuge, you're gonna have to like rework your rework your stuff. Non-zero improvement. Most of the time you're using it for the passive to become invincible. Or you're using it to inflict paralyze. I mean, the paralyze is not bad. Fair improvement. Still going to be usable. Still going to be usable, yeah. And then Teleheath. Am I crazy, or does this literally... It's just the overclock? I just see the overclock, and then spend 5 charge count to gain plus 3 skill power. Maximum of 12. Oh, so this can trigger up to 4 times. That's the difference. Spend all charge to gain plus 15 skill power instead of 10. It's like it's hard, like little to no practical. You're not really charging Heathcliff usually. This hardly ever comes up, honestly. I mean, it would do a ton of damage. It would do a lot of damage, but the thing is, it's a Tails hit ID or ego, so you know, I'd still probably say waste of thread. I don't think it's that useful. Charging Heathcliff does not really give you that much of an advantage. It's just very it's not super usable. Anyways, Ishmael. Let's go base. 4 to 7, and then 6 to 9 instead of 5 to 8. That's fine. 15, I guess. On hit, inflict 3 tremor instead of nothing. I guess. Shield bash clashes to 20 now instead of 19. Not really an insane improvement. 19 was already okay. Little to no practical improvement, probably. Not much. Not much going on there. Probably still a waste of thread. Probably don't have to uptie her. Let's go she section. Alessa is 50%. This skill gives 3 additional poise instead of 1. Sure, I guess. I mean, it does triple the bonus poise, but it's not like crazy or anything. On hit, gain 2 poise count instead of 1 poise count, and this triggers 4 times. Remember, because this skill, in an ideal world, which is when you would be using her most of the time, this triggers 4 times. So this would give you an extra 4 poise count overall. So you would get 8 total. And then 6 plus 6 by 2. So 18. Wow, that's pretty good. Instead of 6 by 4, right? Yeah, so this gains an extra 4 total clash power. Very nice. Very nice, actually. 18, again, the magic number where you start to get to good, like, really great clashing, right? 18 is like the breakpoint for, like, great clashing. Catch breath. 5 plus poise count, plus 50% crit damage. So now it actually also does some damage. 5 plus poise count is not hard to get, because Flashing Strike will give you 8 poise count. I like this. At 5 plus poise count, plus crit damage on the counter. I mean, the improvement to the counter is good, because you use the counter quite often. I'd say she Ishmael, solid improvement. Solid improvement for sure. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Great option. Usable. Great option. Great option. Great option, I'll say. LCCB. Aggro. Like to see that. Target is 8 plus Tremor, skill power plus 2. Cool. 8 plus Tremor is pretty easy to accomplish because her skill 3 inflicts 8 Tremor. So, you know, this is actually not irrelevant. It does come up, maybe. And then Suppress. If target is 5 plus Tremor count, coin power plus 1. So you would need more Tremor count, because this only inflicts 4. No, this inflicts 5 on its own, right? I like that. Coin power plus 1. So this would be plus 4 total power. So this is 8, 12, 16. That helps substantially. The problem is the offense level is like kind of crippled. As per usual, the offense level is just kind of crippled on this ID. So on use, gain aggro. At 0 ammo, gain 2 more aggro. So she actually... I mean, you're never running out of ammo with her, but, you know, I guess in the case that you do. She also has blunt tanking capabilities. The aggro mechanic is good. This is good. If target is tremor count, coin power plus 1 is fine. It's fine. I like it. I'd say... Where is she? Definitely helps her general usage outside of extremely short fights. Now she's a tank. As well, with the aggro mechanic, she can now tank. So, solid improvement. Usable. Instead of niche, because before I would have put her in niche. Now she's usable. For sure. Great option. Great option. Sloshing. They better have fucking done something crazy for sloshing. Because this is gonna need a hell of a lot of support to fix this. It's heavy. I love this skill. Alright, gain 4 aggro. Okay, aggro, a good start. Clash lose in why are they going all in on Clash lose, bro? Why? Why do I want to lose Clash? Huh? Same over here. I mean, I guess, but like why do I want to lose Clash? 3 tremor and 3 rupture? Like versus just 3 tremor? I guess. I guess. I mean... Clash lose, inflict tremor rupture? I mean, it does give her gameplay flow. I will not lie. It does give her a gameplay flow. She actually does have a game plan. So, upon her... On her base... Like, compared to her base kit, substantial improvement. Is she going to be meta? Hell fucking no. Definitely not. Probably don't use her. But it is still a substantial improvement. Yeah, I'd say yeah, I'd put her still down there. I mean, like, if you're going to tank, why not just use LCCB? At least LCCB is blunt and effective, so she can actually tank skills that other people can't. What the hell were they cooking with that? Reindeer. Wow, they're actually buffing this. This skill actually had the highest flash power, skill 1 in the game previously. 13 was the highest. So now it's back and it's 14 is the highest. Very cool. 14 on a skill 1 is pretty damn good. That's like some skill 2s. On use, plus 2 charge. On hit instead of on heads, plus 2 charge. Fantastic, fantastic. I love that. So she gains 50% more charge with this skill, and now she gains it on hit instead of on heads, because that was one of the worst feeling things in the game, was having to hit heads with this. Flaying Surge also getting buffed from 10 to 12. So now this is 18. I like that. I like that a lot. Instead of, what is it, 5 charge or 6 charge, it now gains 7. It's 5 charge, yeah. Cool, I like that. On hit, inflict sinking count instead of heads hit, sure. I mean, that did not really matter as much. But her charge gain is definitely a lot better. And then Mind Whip got buffed. Coin power got buffed. So now instead of plus 5, it's plus 6 by 4. So this adds an extra 4 clash power. So before it was 22, now it's 26. 6 by 4, 24 plus 2. Yeah, it's 26. And it also spends 8 charge. This is not really that useful. Spending 8 charge versus 10 charge is not really that big of a difference. Because it's still going to take you the same amount of turns. It's still going to make you take the same amount of turns to get this going, right? It's still going to take the same amount of turns to charge. if this was at 10, but the combined improvement with this is really good. So, and the coin power is much, much appreciated. The difference between 22 and 26 is really good. 26 is like around the, like, hovering around like middling egos, kind of. So we love to see this. It's like low to mid egos instead of 22 is like low egos. So 26 is really good. Guard on evade, gain +1 charge count. Remember, the evade can be repeated. It can be recycled. So, you know, I guess this could help charge you in a pinch. But I feel like her clashing numbers are good enough that you would not really use it outside of solos. And then her passive got reworked, thankfully. Wow, I love that. At the start of the combat phase, gain Gloom Resonance over 3 attack power up. If the unit fails to deal damage, lose 15 sanity. I like that. That is really good. Really good compared to this. This is just, at the start of the combat phase, lose 15 sanity. For what purpose, man? And then you gain attack power up next turn. I like this more. Way more. Way more. 3, Gloom Resonance over 3 is like, you know, probably, I don't know if it rounds up or down, I don't remember. It's probably just gonna be 1 attack power up, but 1 attack power up is appreciated for sure. If it triggers, and I mean, lose 15 sanity if you fail to deal damage is a vast improvement. Vast improvement. So I'd say, probably great option. I'd say probably solid improvement. Substantial over her previous kit. Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, substantial improvement. Probably, definitely a great option. Liu Association, huh? Gain +1 power for every 3 burn on the target, max 2. So now this can double up. That's the... Okay, so now this can double up. I like that. 6 burn is pretty easy to accomplish, so I like this. Coin power +1 for every 6 burn on the target, max 2. So this can also double up. 12 burn is a little bit harder to achieve, but, you know, if you can make it there, it's not impossible to achieve. With stuff like Meursault, Capote, and whatever. So, you know, it's not impossible to achieve. I do like this. This doubles up as well. 6+ burn and burn count, plus 50% instead of, what, 30? Yeah. I mean, this hardly ever comes up. Again, 6+ burn count is hard to get. But, I mean, these are nice improvements. These are nice improvements. I'd say, yeah. Liu Ishmael, solid improvement. I'd say still a great option. All of her stuff is great options, except for, you know, we don't talk about these. Which one is meta? Which one would I define as meta? Depends on the situation. They could all, realistically, they could all be up here. It just depends on what content you're doing, I think. If I were to pick one, probably Reindeer, as the meta option, genuinely. But, you know, it's with the help of Teledon again, so, you know. I'd say, yeah, I won't put any of them up there explicitly, but they're all very good. Rodya? I mean, they better Uptie better buff her support passive, otherwise she's just going straight at the bottom. I mean, she does inflict some bleed, I guess. But, like, doesn't fix the fact that her numbers are pretty bad. Like, 12 here is not great. 12 here is not great. And then 11 here, like, okay, she inflicts a fair amount of bleed, I guess. But, like, this is counterintuitive, I think. Why do you want skill power plus... Okay, so it's like, I want skill power +1 when below 0 sanity, right? So let's say I'm -1 sanity, right? I'm -1 sanity so I can get the skill power +1. Why do they make these heads hit? Why do I need to hit heads if I... Like, you can't play both of these at the same time. You can't play the skill power +1 plus the bleed, inflict bleed at the same time. Just doesn't make sense to me. Just doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't help fix her problems. Little to no practical improvement. I did not do Ishmael's egos. Oh my god, dude, I keep forgetting. Let's do Ishmael's egos. Okay. Let's go Snag Harpoon. On hit, burst, tremor. That's it. I kind of like that. I always thought it did burst tremor. Now it does. I'd say non-zero improvement. Still going to be usable. Nothing crazy there. I need to see Ishmael. Give me Rosette Desire. This one's up to 3. 10 offense level down, and bind. And this inflicts more paralyze and bind, but you're not really overclocking it because it's pretty expensive. 10 offense level down is substantial. The difference between 7 and 10 is pretty decent. 3 bind next turn is appreciated. Bind next turn is appreciated. I'd say solid improvement. Yeah, I'd say solid improvement. Would I say it's great option? I'll have to compare it to Capote. We'll see. I'll have to see what Capote can offer, because it's competing with Capote. That's the main thing, right? I already see attack weight too, so it's gonna be a rough one. Is that it? Alright, Capote turns into attack weight 2, the overclock turns into attack weight 4. Interesting. Attack weight 2 does not really change much on her, though. Because, I mean, it inflicts 4 extra burn, and the target loses more sanity, but, like, it's not that crazy or anything. I'd say Capote, it's, like, a fair improvement. It's a fair improvement. It's not crazy or anything. And then, yeah, I'd say Rosette Desire probably over Capote. I'd say Capote is usable. Rosette Desire, I promote it to great option. I think that because the thing is, like, Rosette Desire, once it can get going, the pink ribbons can kind of go hard. The pink ribbons can kind of go hard. Because, yeah, count increases by 1 whenever tosses an attack skill coin. I think pink ribbons can kind of go hard. So, the only problem was, the ego itself, when it was at Threadspin 3, did not really do much. It did not really do much. So, now you actually inflict, because the thing is, there's no button for Uptie 4 on egos, huh? But yeah, you'd have to wait a turn after in order to start inflicting bind, unless you overclocked it. But now you can just use it. You can just use it as a, you can use it for next turn bind, and then every turn after it'll also be bind. So this actually does increase the tempo of this ego quite substantially. And then obviously 10 offense level down is appreciated very much. So, because again, reminder, because of the offense level change, every 3 offense level, now it used to be 5, but now it's every 3 offense level you have over the enemy, you get an extra clash power. So the difference between 7 offense level and 10 offense level is a whole clash power. So I'd say this probably solid improvement, great option for sure. Solid improvement, great option. And then we have Ardor. Ardor turns into an AoE. That's funny. AoE 40 coin skill. Heads attack end, inflict 5 burn on 3 random enemies instead of 3. And then the overclock turns into a 5-slot AoE. Inflict burn by 2 by Wrath Resonance on all units. Instead of what? Oh, it's just a formatting, it's a formatting change. After attack instead of on hit, I guess. I guess that's different. I mean, turning this into an AoE is already stupid good, right? Like, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I love that. Definitely meta. Yeah, for sure. Definitely meta. I mean, this thing already did, like, this already hit solid triple digits on most bosses. Uh, like, if you had a good setup, this hit triple digits solidly. Now this will hit absurd numbers on bosses. So, yeah, I mean, fantastic. We already rated base Rodya, by accident. We already rated her by accident. So we'll skip her. We'll go, Mitzelhammer, I suppose. If target has nails, inflict 1 nails. Oh, this is just all new stuff. On hit, if target has nails, inflict 1 nails. Again? Okay, sure. If this unit is fanatic, deal plus 15% damage, plus 5% damage for each N-Corp ally present in the party. I'm pretty sure that counts herself. I mean, it's either 20 or 25% damage. Either way, it's pretty good. Fanatic plus 15% is appreciated. Counter does not really matter. I mean, it does make her better. She already wasn't completely terrible. I'd say solid improvement. Mostly because of the 15% damage over anything else. I mean, free 15% damage is appreciated. Fair improvement. And then I'd say she's still, like, usable for sure. Usable for sure. Yeah. Yeah. LCCB. Let's go, Rodya. If the next skill on the dashboard deals blunt, this skill's coin power plus 2. You're at 3 to 7 speed, so that literally could be anyone. Same here. Coin power plus 2. I mean, coin power plus 2 is appreciated, especially on thrust. This skill sucked before. Now it does, like, 6 to 12, which is a normal number. It's a normal number, I guess. I mean... I'd say, like, little to no practical improvement. It doesn't really fix her problems. She still has insane problems. I'd say probably a waste of thread. It does not fix her problems. And then we have my beloveds, Vi Rodion. Woohoo! Hope this looks good, hopefully. Gain 2 aggro, okay. And we're gaining more poise count on Clash Lose. Why am I gaining poise count on Clash Lose? Huh? I guess this also goes from heads hit to on hit, but, like, dude, what the fuck? What are they doing with this? At 15 shield, gain 2 poise count, that's the same. On use, gain aggro. On use, gain poise count. Gain 5 aggro. You're ineffective to blunt. I guess you could be a tank. But, like, what are you doing? Like, for what purpose? I mean, aggro at least gives her a niche. So, you know, massive improvement because at least she has an aggro mechanic, so she can actually do stuff. But, like, still a waste of thread. Still a waste of thread. Don't use her. Genuinely. I feel like it's just a waste. She has better things to be doing than tanking. Kurikumo. At 4 plus poise, coin power plus 3. Okay, see, like, this is what I like. I like things that don't require me to crit. It gives me bonuses for having poise. Coin power plus 3 is substantial. 14 is a very strong skill 1. I don't know why it's called Sharp Edge instead of Sharpened Blade. It's called Sharpened Blade. I think it might be a typo, but oh well. But yeah. On use, gain 2 poise count. At 5 plus poise, coin power plus 2. So this Clash over 16. Pretty solid number. And then Sky Clearing Cut. At 10 plus poise, plus 100% crit damage. That is spicy. And then her counter gains poise. Why does she have 2 counters? What is this? Defense. What the fuck? What are they? Okay, I mean, I guess Kusagi is just killing itself. I mean, it is a vast improvement. Because now she doesn't need to, like, the problem was she needed to crit in order to do anything, and her only payoff was 10 bleed. Now this also doubles damage. Or plus 100% critical damage. So, like, what is it? Instead of 20% bonus, it's a 40% crit bonus. Not awful. Solid improvement, I'd say. Substantial improvement, actually. Substantial improvement for sure. Yeah. For sure. Substantial improvement. I think she's still going to be niche, though. I don't think she's going to be, like, usable. Niche. How easy would it be to get 5 poise? This gains 4. Counter skills, use skill 3. Oh, shit. Wait, I never... Is this just how it was? I actually never knew that. I actually never knew that it was even a thing. Honestly, I never knew that was a thing. So that's why it's there. Okay. I like this. Maybe I'll bump her to usable. Plus 2 poise. This gives you poise count, and then this gives you 5. So you'll hit the 5 poise for the next one. The thing is, the thresholds are a little awkward. Like, it's still awkward. I think I'm keeping her in niche. It is a substantial improvement. But her thresholds for poise gain, and then the payoff, 10 plus, her thresholds are kind of awkward. So... yeah, I think I'll keep her there. That's a tough one, though. That's a tough one to rank. She might actually be usable, but I don't think so. I think she's still niche. And then we get Rose Spanner. On you, Skein Charge. Thank you. Remember, one of the most problematic things with this ID was that the charge was all on hit. I like that. Target is 10 plus tremor count, coin power plus 1. It did not have that before. 10 plus tremor count is just not happening, though. How the hell are you getting 10 plus tremor count? It's just not possible. Like, there's just no way. Anything else on there? No. So this basically, vibration compression doesn't get any changes, really. And then preheat, gain 2 charge count. I mean, the thing is, this doesn't even activate vibration compression. Spend 3 charge? See, like, it doesn't really do anything. So, I mean, while it is nice, it's still little to no practical improvement. Because no matter what, even if this is on use, it's still not enough charge to activate this, because you need 3. And it's not enough charge to activate this, so you need 3. So, in order to activate it, you need to hit them anyway. Like, you need to use this again anyway. So, what's the point? Little to no. Still meta, though. Still meta, though. I mean, I guess, yeah, we'll go, you're a great option. You're, like, usable. Oh, yeah, her egos. Dude, I keep skipping the egos, man. I caught myself that time, though. So, what do we got here? Rodya. What is cast? We'll do what is cast. Gain 2 SP heal efficiency next turn. Gain 2 SP, gain minus 2 SP loss efficiency. That shit does not do anything. Where's what is cast? Nope. Waste of thread. Alright, Rhyme Shank. We'll do Rhyme Shank. Let's go with, Uptie 3. Inflict 5 sinking count. I love how the overclock is now AoE. They figured out that having an AoE as the standard ego and then turning it single target was stupid. I think they figured it out. Inflict 10 sinking. It actually has a niche. It was already fine before. It already did solid damage. Like, people slept on this before. It's not like an insane improvement or anything. It still does the same thing. Non-zero improvement. I mean, it could be used for some setups, I guess, but it's not that good. It's like a non-zero improvement. The overclock inflicting 10 sinking, though, is funny. You know what? I'll put it in fair. Yeah. Still usable. Still usable. Fourth match flame. I remember in the teaser they made this AoE. They did. Is that the only change? Yeah, it goes from 1 to 3 to 3 to 5. The only problem, it's a minus coin, and we don't have much wrath. So I mean, the thing is, it's a minus coin. It's a solid improvement, but I think it's still niche. It's a minus coin, so it's still niche. It's a little annoying to set up. Sinclair. Downward swing. Okay, sure. And his skill 3 gets +1 coin power, and it inflicts some rupture. I mean, like, no. I don't know why you would use this. Heads hit inflict 1 rupture 3 times. So you get a whopping 3 rupture. Nah. nah. And then, you know, I'd say still a waste of the niche. I could go either way on this one. He's usable, I guess. What is his max clash power? This is 11, which is fine, I guess, now. 14. And then Halberd combo gets 0 changes. This skill is still pretty deplorable. Yeah, no. Let's go with Mariachi. The only thing this guy's useful for is support passive, for the record. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, on hit instead of what, on heads? Sure. So instead of clashing for 8, it clashes for 10, which is like bare minimum normal. If you have sinking. Okay, no. If target has 6+ sinking, coin power +2. That's what, skill 2? Yeah. So instead of clashing for 8, which is deplorable, now it would clash for 14. Still not great. Gain Poise, sure. Pinata Party. 8 + 11. If target's SP is below 0, boost crit chance proportional to target's SP. If the user has 5+ point count, and then lower user staggered. I mean, like, no. I mean, it's like non-zero improvement. He's still going to be usable for the support passive. He's going to be niche. I'd say base Rodya is also niche. He's still going to be usable for the support passive, but little to no practical. Non-zero. Non-zero improvement. I guess he kind of does get stuff. Inflict... like... No, I mean... 5+ poise count. You get 1 poise count here. How the fuck are you getting 5+ poise count, actually? You gain 1 poise count. How is this even an improvement? Lower user stagger threshold by 50% on hit instead of heads hit. This doesn't even, like, do anything, bro. Nah, this shit is, like, little to no practical improvement. There's no way. It does not do anything. Let's do Zwei. Zwei Sinclair. Here. Upside 3. Clash lose, gain 2 prot. I mean, I guess, okay. See, that kind of makes sense. If you lose a clash, you take less damage. If you win the clash, you get tremor, I guess. Not awful. We do have aggro, on this ID now, which is cool. Clash lose, inflict tremor. Why? Why? And then, okay, gain 10 aggro on Strong Strike. Burst Tremor. If target has 5+ Tremor, upon Tremor Burst, gain 2 prot next turn. On hit, inflict 2 blunt fragility. Again, inflict 2 blunt fragility means literally nothing when your speed is deplorable. So... I mean, like, it's a non-zero improvement. It's a fair improvement. Actually, I mean, again, like, the aggro, I could see the gameplay flow. You would get aggro and then lose clash with baton to get prot and then tank everything with it. I could see it. I could see it. Solid improvement. Still going to be, like, niche. Like, yeah, like a waste of thread almost, I think. Like a waste of thread. I don't think he's that good, though. Like, you have better tanks. You have Rhino, you have, Kong Lu, you know, you have Grosshammer, I guess, which is just a better tank, and he's niche, so... And you have LCCB Ishmael if you want to tank. You have, you know, She Section IDs if you want tanking. There's just better options. There's just better options. It's same thing with Zwei Rodya. Like, there's just better options. Then we have Talisman. On hit, if target has 5+ Rupture, gain Talisman. Sure, I guess. If target has Rupture, gain Talisman. This is like a ludicrous amount of Talisman. You're instantly overstacking yourself. God forbid you activate the passive. Holy shit. God forbid you activate the passive. This is what? 3, 6, 9 Talisman, possibly? On one skill. That's pretty spicy. I kinda like that, but it instantly overstacks you. Spend 5 on self, give 7 to the opponent. Isn't this a downgrade? Why would I want to overstack the enemy? And then they just lose the talisman. Why would I do that? Why would I want to do that? Because on turn end at 6+ count, remove all talisman and take fixed damage by its count. Why would I want to instantly overstack the enemy with 7 talisman? Isn't that just bad? Isn't that just a downgrade? And then guard skill gets improved. I don't understand. Is this not just a strict downgrade? Why would I ever want this? I mean, this is spicy. I like gaining a shit ton of talisman because it would burst by turn end, but like after this attack goes off, the amount of rupture you would have applied, even if you can't keep the talisman, the damage is done. Even if you can't keep your stack alive, the damage has already been done. But like, what is the point of this? I would rather just keep it at 5 talisman. Why would I want it at 7? I'm so confused. Like, a confounding design decision from Project Mood on this one. I mean, it's a fair improvement. He's still going to be pretty niche. Like, usable. He's going to be usable, but, like... But, like, why? But, like, for what purpose, though? I do not understand this. This is the most confusing thing to me. I don't understand this. Alright, and then we have Gripper. On hit, inflict 3 instead of 2. Sure. I wish this Fanatic was on hit instead of on Tails hit. This is, like, the most annoying thing about his kit. I mean, it would be pretty OP if they patched it to be on hit instead of Tails hit, but, like, I wish. On use, lose 15. If this unit is Fanatic, deal 10%. This is exactly the same. I guess it's formatting, because there's now bullet points. That's the change. It's a formatting change, I guess. Whatever, dude. Inflict 7 burn instead of, what, like 5? If 5 plus speed inflicts 7 burn. If 5 or more surviving units, including this unit, are from N Corp, they deal 10% damage. Plus 10%. Interesting. So if you run full N Corp, everyone gets 10% bonus damage. I mean, he's still going to be top of the meta for sure. I'd say little to no practical improvement. He doesn't gain that much from it. Branch of Knowledge. Heads hit, lose 10 sanity, gain attack power up. Tails hit, heal 10 sanity, gain 10 prot. Like, I think they just need to overhaul this ego entirely. I feel like every single time they try and do something wacky with this, it's just, like, not useful. You would never want to hit Tails. Like, why do I ever want to hit Tails? Stop giving me effects when I hit Tails. I'm never going to want to use them. Like, I don't know. I mean, would I ever, like, would I ever want to use this for just one attack power up at the cost of 10 sanity? I guess, if I'm N Corp Sinclair. But the problem is it's on heads hit. So, like, if I'm on N Corp Sinclair, I'm just probably not hitting heads. I don't know, dude. Like, it's a non-zero improvement, I guess. Like, it's... I feel like it's little to no practical improvement. Still probably a niche. At least it inflicts 12 ruptures still, so that didn't change. It's still niche. Impending Day. Target's HP is below 25%, deal plus 40 instead of 20. I mean, you don't really use it for damage, so that's not really anything. Plus 50. Again, little to no practical improvement. It's still going to be a great option, though. That doesn't change. And then Lifetime Stew. Let's go with, Uptie 3. Attack weight 7? Is that the only thing that changes? It's just the, the corrosion doesn't get anything? Oh, it gets bonus damage. Spend 3 random ego resources to boost damage by 30%. Targets units with least HP. Yeah. I mean, targeting 7 things is really funny. Targets the unit with the least HP. If targets ally, it deals 0 damage. Heal them, yeah. Inflict burn. I mean, it's funny. It's fun. I like it. It's like a fair improvement. I mean, 7 slot AoE is definitely nothing to sneeze at. It does technically heal your entire team. Now it heals your entire team. I think it's solid. Because this is guaranteed to hit your entire team if... Because usually your team will have lower HP than the enemy, right? Usually. So it's like kind of like a fluid sac. Almost. Except it doesn't heal sanity, it just heals health. And it also gives haste. I mean, if it hits Tails, which you want it to, I guess, it does give haste. The clashing power is still just a tragedy, though, so it doesn't save the fact that it's still super niche. I mean, from 3 to 7, it is pretty good. Sure, why not? Outis. Pulled Blade. Heads hit, inflict 1 rupture. Doesn't fucking do anything. Backslash gets +1 base power. Fine, I guess. It's nice to have. Piercing Thrust gains 1 base power. So now it hits over 20. Pretty good. Appreciated for sure. On hit, inflict 1 rupture count. I mean, I guess it didn't do anything before. Sure. And then evade. Non-zero improvement, I'd say. Definitely at least something. Mostly because her niche is her skill 3, and her skill 3 gets improved. So, you know. I'd say it's fine. It's a non-zero improvement. Actually, what is Sinclair's? I guess this is also like a non-zero improvement. It's a non-zero improvement. Still gonna be niche. Probably usable, honestly. Probably usable. Let's go back to Outis, shall we? Let's go Blade Lineage. Okay, hold on. We gotta do this. Yeah, there we go. At 5+ Poise, coin power +3. Again, nice. Clash win, Poise count, +2 Poise count. I mean, Coin power +3 is appreciated though. And then if target's HP is below 50%, final power +2. So this goes for, instead of 14, it goes to 16. On crit raise first stagger threshold. At 6+ Poise, coin power +3 on the evade. It's a non-zero improvement. It's a non-zero improvement. I guess, I mean, the decisive dive is definitely, it's like a non-zero improvement, I guess. I mean, it does something. I guess. And then, I mean, she's still going to be not used, though. I would never use her. Yeah, I think I would never use her. G-Corp. If target is 5+ sinking, coin power +2. She applies sinking? I actually did not know. She applies a lot of sinking. Wait. Oh, because of the Uptie. Okay. I dig that. On hit instead of heads hit. I mean, you're always wanting to hit heads with this, so it doesn't really matter. It does get a one coin power bonus. That's something. I mean, 16 is a break point, so it is nice. This is nice to have. It's not crazy or anything. I'd say it's like fair. It's more like non-zero. It's more like a non-zero. And she's still going to be a, it's still going to be usable. Still going to be... I think she's, yeah, she's usable. I don't know if she's a great option. I would use her over 7 section most of the time in hard mirror dungeon, but beyond that, I mean... Actually, I mean... Like, the thing is, Onslaught Command did not get any worse. Onslaught Command is still strong. I could bump her up. Yeah, I mean, I get... I don't know if I want to bump her up. I'll keep her down here for now. And then 7th section Outis. On hit, inflict 1 rupture. Cool. On hit, inflict 2 rupture count instead of +1. Nice. Okay. Only the second coin though. If target is 7 plus rupture, coin power +2. I mean, if you're using her in a rupture team, I guess this would come up. But generally speaking, this does not do much. And then, yeah, I guess her guard skill gets improved. I mean, the coin power is appreciated. It literally doubles the coin power. 7 plus rupture is not the easiest thing in the world to achieve. Yeah, 7 plus is not the easiest thing in the world to achieve. Outside of a dedicated rupture team. So it doesn't really come up that much. But I mean, in a rupture team, it does double her coin power. So this goes from, what, 12 to, 12 to, like, 18 or something, which is a really respectable number. Like, a solid number. 18 is a solid number. It's just the activation condition is a little tough. I'd say it's a fair improvement. She's still going to be meta, mostly because of the support passive, more than anything else. The support passive and her egos, right? Pathos. On kill, give attack power up to a random ally next turn. Yeah, okay. No practical improvement. Still a great option, though. The passive got reworked, too, right? Yeah. Neat. Let's go with Sunyata first. Attack weight 2. Is that the only thing that changed? It now hits 2 people. Gives them both Lust Fragility. I don't know if that's enough to make it great. I mean, just objectively, it's a fair improvement because it doubles the application of it. But like, I think it's still niche at best. Still niche at best. Okay, let's do Sun Shower. 7 plus Poise instead of 6. Or +7, and then 4, 2, this goes to 6 to 3, and then +3 sinking count instead of 2. So it improves all of the numbers, except for the Clash. Also, it has attack weight 2. Interesting. On crit doesn't matter. This thing is just never critting, pretty much. Same thing here. 6 Rupture instead of, oh no, it's just also 6 Rupture. I mean, it's a non-zero improvement. It doesn't really increase the use cases of it or anything. It doesn't like massively improve it or anything. It just like the only thing you're really getting is like +1 bind. It's like the only tangible thing you're getting. It's still niche. I mean, it does target 2 people. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I forgot to target 2 people. I think it's like a solid improvement because it's bind. It's a fair improvement. I'd say it's a fair improvement. It's a usable option. And then Ebony Stem. Ebony Stem goes to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slot AoE. Whew, 7 slots, eh? Is that it? It just gets 7 slots of AoE, huh? Alright. Damn. Alright. Again, I'll say probably, like, a fair improvement. I'd say it's a fair improvement. Again, 7 slots is not... You're not getting a lot of use out of 7 slot AoE. The difference between 5 slot and 7 slot is pretty small. In the amount of use cases you get. So, I'd say it's probably also a fair improvement. It's still going to be extremely strong, though. It's still going to be very strong. The only problem is, like, actually using it. The only problem is getting resources, because this thing is mad expensive. But it is absurdly strong. This ego literally carries Outis as a character, solo. So, you know. Anyways, last character, Gregor. Sure. Swipe, Jag. So you're getting +1, Jag is getting +1. And heads hit, inflict 2 rupture. Chop up, also +1. And then guard. I mean, Gregor's use case is just as passive. So this does not increase his use case that much. Little to no practical improvement. So, you know, it is what it is. I'll give I'll give him probably a waste of thread, I'd say. Yeah, yeah. I need to change this tier list at the end. At the end, I'll change it. For now, we're good. I'll leave it for now. Let's do Liu Gregor. 6+ burn, coin power +1. Huge. Liu Gregor is like the main burn potency supplier ID. Like, besides egos, like besides Meursault, Capote, ego, and whatever, right? Liu Gregor is the main burn potency ID. So 6+ burn is very easy for him. And we're on hit, so he also gets heads hit, inflict 1 burn. So he actually doubles the amount of burn on his skill 1. So that's really good. Rush down doubles in coin power too. +6 burn coin power. Oh my god, that's really good. And it changes to on hits. That was one of my major problems with him, because you don't really want to clash with him because his clashing is not that good. But then you can't really get his sanity up for the heads hit. So changing it to on hit is exactly what I was asking for. Genuinely. That was like one of his major problems. So that's really nice to see. 5 plus 2 by 3, so 5 plus 6 is 11. Still a pretty bad clashing number for skill 2, but vast improvement over what it used to be. And if you can hit this, it gets to 14, which is like a normal number. It's like a normal number. Really nice, really nice. And this also can clash for 10, which is a normal number. So that's really good. And then Perfected Palm Strike. If target is 6+ burn, deal 10% bonus damage. And then all of this is on hit instead of heads hit. Wow, I love this. This is really nice. This is really, really nice. If target is 6+ burn, deal 10% damage. Yeah. I mean, 10% bonus damage, I'll take it. It already did fair damage. It already hit like triple digits on blunt fatal enemies. Like pretty handily. So plus 10% damage is welcome. On hit is very welcome. So I'd say, I mean, he's always going to be a great option. I'd say substantial improvement. Substantial improvement for sure. This fixes a lot of the problems he had. So I really do like that. Then we have his two IDs, 2-star IDs. Let's start with Rose Spanner, I guess. There's a lot of fucking numbers here, huh? Target is 5+ tremor count, inflict 3 rupture. Tremor count? Like, why tremor count? I mean, it is fair rupture application, but inflict 2 rupture count. I like this. That's cool. It's a 1 coin skill, so it doesn't eat rupture, and then it also inflicts 2 rupture count. That's fine. At 5+ tremor count, coin power +1. Sure. So then it clashes for what? 16 instead of 13. Definitely way better. How many fucking effects do you have? 1, 2, 2, 2. So you gain something here. If target is 5+ tremor, count, inflict 3 rupture. And again over here. But, like, the thing is, it happens after you burst the tremor and reduce the tremor count by 2. So, like, what's the point? You're already nuking your stat. You're assuming you have, like, 7 tremor count? Or, like, 8 tremor count? This seems counterintuitive. So, really, the only thing he gets is, like, target has 5+ tremor count, inflict 3 rupture, which is okay. 5 rupture on a single skill is fine, I guess. And then 1 extra rupture count. This is probably Grease Change is probably his best skill for a rupture team. I'd say the improvement is like non-zero. It's like fair. It's like a fair improvement, I guess, but he's still going to be like niche at best, right? Niche at best. Like, yeah, niche at best, I think. You know what? I'm not okay. Let's not rate these on support passives. Let's knock these 2 down again. Like, I'm not rating them on support passives. I could do a support passive tier list in the future sometime, but I'm not rating them on support passives now. Let's knock them down. Sinclair can go back up. Yeah, okay. I'll put Sinclair up there, I guess. He's after Rodya, right? Yeah. All right. So yeah, Roast Banner done. Sous Chef. Let's do Jack Gregor. Keep it fresh. If target has 4+ bind, deal 30% damage. Does not help his clashing problem. If uses speed is higher than the targets by 3+, coin power +3. Goes from 14 to 17. It's not bad, honestly. Butcher Viand. If target has 10+ bleed count, just not happening. Coin power +1. So this would be 8, 13. So it's still the coin power +1, but the clashing is still below average even then. I guess the damage would be better, but like, nah. Nah. Nah, I mean, it is a solid improvement. All of his skills get stuff. Especially skill 1 and skill 2 get much better. Skill 3 is like, dude, 10+ bleed count? Are you shitting me with that? Dude, how? How are you ever activating this? You're never activating that. Like, it's better, but still bad. It's better, but still bad. I think. Like, his clashing is still miserable. I don't think it's that good. Did I skip Blade Lineage Sinclair? Whoops. Alright, we'll get Blade Lineage Sinclair after I finish Gregor. Sure. We'll do, G-Corp Gregor. And then I'll do Blade Lineage Sinclair. Hack. Clash win. Damage plus 40%. That's normal. If target has 5+ rupture count, coin power +1, on hit, heal by 50% instead of heads hit. This is just never getting activated, though. If target has 5+ rupture count, deal 50% bonus damage on hit instead of on heads. Again, this is like almost never getting activated. 5+ rupture count, coin power +1. I mean, I could see Dismember and Eviscerate. Hack does not get much. If you have 5+ rupture count and all of your skills capitalize off of 5+ rupture count, Hack is the last thing you would want to use. Because Eviscerate gets a lot better, and Dismember gets a fair amount better. Like, Eviscerate is a huge payoff now. 3x4, so 12, 16. I kind of fuck with that, honestly. Heal by 100% of damage dealt on coin 4. Instead of heads hit. I mean, it's on hit instead of heads hit. That doesn't really change that much. Fair improvement. Non-zero improvement. Niche. Usable. I'll say usable. I still think Liu Gregor's better. I'll swear by that. And then let's let's back up. The reason I missed him was because I don't have him. He's in the dispenser, along with the other bozos. He's in the dispenser, so I don't have him. That's why I forgot about him. And again, I'm not rating Cinq Don because she's new. I could do a separate review for her. She's new, and also you know, playing her with Uptie 3, like I kind of would need to play her with Uptie 3 in order to actually kind of understand, or at least see her played. Anyways, let's do Blade Lineage Sinclair. Whoopsies. Slice then stab. Oh yeah, Uptie 3. If at 3 plus poise count, coin power plus 1. So you go 3 by 2, so 11 instead of 9. Sure, I guess. Sure. But it's poise count. You don't have ways to get poise count. So that's like a moot point almost. Clash win, do not spend any poise count with critical attacks landed with this skill. I like that. That's spicy. This is really good. Why are we Clash lose attack power up though? I don't understand. I like the Clash win effect though. At 10 plus poise count plus 150% crit damage. I like that. That's kind of funny. How the fuck are you getting 10 plus poise count though? Slayer. Oh, the passive, right. The new passive. Whenever an ally other than this unit gains poise count, this unit gains 1 poise at a 50% chance. I can't see it possibly being good. It definitely is a vast improvement, though. Solid improvement. It's a solid improvement. I don't know if it's like is it substantial? I think it's solid. It kind of does not help fix his problems. Because the thing is, like, to resonate Pride, you would need to use his skill 3. Which means that you, by the time you get all your poise, yeah, unless you have other people resonating Pride, which is not super common, to be fair, because Pride is, again, the rarest resource in the game at the moment. So you'd have to resonate Pride without using his skill 3 in order to get the payoff. Like, it doesn't fix his problems of not really getting poise count. Like, before his problems were really shit. Like, he did not gain any poise count. At least now he gains some, so I'm okay with saying it's a solid improvement. But it's not like, it doesn't fix his problems in a major way, and it doesn't give him any new niches or anything. Like, it doesn't give him any new usage or anything, right? Definitely niche. Same with Kurakumo Rodya. Like, just niche. It's very niche. And then we have Gregor's Egos to top it all off. So let's do Suddenly One Day. Inflict 10 of a random status instead of 6. I mean, the funny factor's there. The funny factor is there. It is a non-zero improvement, but it is still not going to be used because Legerdemain is better. Hold on. I just need to make sure. Is it an AoE or something? Nope. Just making sure. You never know. Sometimes I miss things. Burst Tremor. Inflict 6 instead of 4. On hit, inflict 4 paralyze. I love that. Inflict 6 maggots. I love the on hit instead of heads hit. That's really nice. It is a, obviously it's still meta. It's a fair improvement. On hit instead of heads hit, it's a fair improvement. I like that. Then we have Lantern and AEDD. Sure. We can close the IDs because we're done rating those. Gregor, Lantern. Attack weight 3. Just made it an AoE. So now it just life leeches a shit ton of health. That's the whole thing. That is all it does. AoE Pierce, I suppose. Life leeches a shit ton of health, but I don't think we really care. Definitely a solid improvement over what it was. Over what? Okay, it's a substantial improvement over what it did before. It's a substantial improvement over what it did before, because now it can life leech him all the way to full HP almost. But like, still not good. Like, still not good. Still not good. Yeah, maybe niche. Nah. I still don't think it's good. It is a substantial improvement over what it did before, though. Which I think is definitely good for sure. Oh yeah, these are the same. Whoops. Gain 7, gain 15 spark discharge. And then the overclock turns into an AoE. Gain 10 charge instead of 7, 15 spark discharge, and then 2 charge count. When hit, the attacker gains charge count. When hit with a gloom attack, gain 1 rupture count, then reduce count by 1. I mean, like, I was not really toying with this ego in the first place, but, like, I can't... Were people seriously running out of spark discharge? Do we really need 5 more? I guess the overclock is pretty decent. Like, okay, Gregor does not really gain that much need for charge. So gaining extra 10 does not really matter. I guess it does help him with this passive. It does give... It can give an extra 2 charge to a teammate, compared from 7 to 10. So I guess it does kind of do something. I don't know if it's that much of an improvement. It's like a solid improvement, maybe. Nah, it's like a fair improvement. Yeah, it's like it's like non-zero. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. Yeah, it does. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, and it's still going to be like niche. So I'll just look over them just real quick, just to see if I like where everything is. These were all certainly substantially improved compared to their previous iteration. Gregor's like a solid improvement. He's not like substantial. I like these. Fair improvements. I'd say they're... Yeah, I mean, over their previous usages. They're like fair improvements over their previous usage. Non-zero improvement is like literally bare minimum. At least they do something different. Base Dawn being there looks kind of goofy. Why is she looking at me like that? And then little to no practical improvement. Like, they do not change their usage. Like, they work exactly the same as they used to, basically, right? They work exactly the same as they used to before. So you don't, like, for these, basically what this means is, like, you don't need to uptie them because they will not gain anything from being uptied. Like, they will not gain anything at all, pretty much, from being uptied. Like, their usage is exactly the same. I like this. Blade Lineage Song. Perhaps I treated you too harshly. Heal turn. 2. On use gain 2 poise. Solid improvement. It's a solid improvement. Especially this. It gives him a new way to play the game. I like that. Blade Lineage Song is a solid improvement. Liu Meursault? Leo Meursault is like a kind of a solid improvement too. Nah, it's like a it's a fair improvement for sure. The only thing that he really benefits is his skill 3. I like this. This is like perspective meta, based on Uptie 4. My opinion, of course. Like assuming every unit is at Uptie 4. This is what I think the meta will kind of look like. Again, these are based on in combat for the most part. Support passives I'm not taking into consideration mostly, so Yi-Song has a good support passive. Faust has a good one. I know Gregor and Chef Gregor both have good ones. Don has a niche support passive that's useful. Ryoshu has a niche support passive that's useful. Meursault has a good support passive. Rodya has a good support passive. Mariachi has a good support passive, right? But I'm not like I'm rating them on combat potential, like literally bringing them into battle for the most part. I think I like where this is. And then egos are more subjective for the most part. Surprising to see substantial improvements. Mostly the ones that increase substantially are the ones that were already good. I think 4th Match Flame Yi-Song actually does get a substantial improvement. Wishing Karen too. I think both of these get substantially improved. Because Wishing Karen turns into a side-grade Legger domain, which is really strong. 4th Match Flame turns into a 5-slot AoE, which applies 10 burn to everything, which is a substantial improvement. I like that. 4th Match Flame Ryoshu. Right? Whoops. Just making sure. Body Sack, solid improvement, I think. Yeah, I think Body Sack is a solid improvement. He goes here. Sunyata getting 2 slots, solid improvement over what it was before. Considering it was literally trash. Still not good, but the actual benefit it gets from Uptie 4, or Threadspin 4, is solid. Non-zero improvement. Crow's Eye View. Crow's Eye View is, like, fair. It's a fair improvement. It's like a... I mean, the usage does not really increase that much, so I'll put it in fair. The rest of these... I mean, yeah, the usage cases for these don't really change that much. And then... Yeah, the usage cases for these don't... Like, these still work almost identically to before Uptie 4, so that's fine. Meta egos, yep. Yep. Great options. Yep. I like these. For sure, I like these. I mean, there could be an argument to bump Impending Day to meta, I guess. I mean, it is really good. I mean, Ebony Stem is not, like, super... it is good. Alright, if Ebony Stem is up there, then Sinclair should be up there, right? I think that's the logic there. So, I'll put him in meta. For sure. These are all great options. I think Wishing Karen might be meta. We'll see. I mean, it depends. It's hard to say with Wishing Karen. I'll say for now, we'll keep it as a great option, but I would not be surprised if it becomes really strong. Same with Force for the Flames. I feel like this is a really good option. Clash value is good. 2 fragile on a base ego on demand for next turn is really strong. But it is a little niche, so that's fine. I'll keep it there. Usable. Usable tier looking pretty good. I think... Rosette Desire, there could be stuff that could be bumped up to great options. Like Honglu Dim Shredder is pretty good. And it goes to AoE. It turns into an AoE ego. That's pretty good. That's pretty great. I'd say that's pretty great. Especially if you're using it with Konglu. Like, that's the main thing. You have to use it with Konglu pretty much. In order for it to be good, though. But if you are, it's pretty great. It does get pretty great. So I guess that's fine. Honglu is after Meursault, so that's fine. Rosette Desire is usable. I like that. Snag Harpoon, I mean, the passive is really good, but beyond that, it's not spectacular. Dim Shredder, Hex Nail, these are all very niche. I agree with those. Those are all extremely niche. And then, yeah, I like this. I like this. So these are going to be, you know, final call if you want a screenshot or something. These are going to be my tier lists for Uptie 4. These are the actual power level of the Uptie 4s themselves. As in, like, you know, again, I said at the beginning, but how substantially they improve. You know, how substantially they improve compared to their base versions, right? This is, with everything at Uptie 4, what do I think the meta will kind of look like? Probably something like this. And then same thing with egos. Compared to their base versions, you know, compared to their base versions, how much stronger do they get with Uptie 4? Like, how much benefit do they get? And then, this is like the ego meta, I guess. I mean, there's not really like an ego meta as much as an ID meta, but, yeah. So if you're looking to Uptie 4 things, use these as guidelines. Like, if you want to Uptie 4 an ID, use both of these tier lists, and take into consideration both of these tier lists, kind of, when you go to Uptie something. So it's like, you know, okay, Lobotomy Ego Sloshing Ishmael gets a massive improvement in usability, compared to her Uptie 3 version, but she is still trash. So it's like, you know, like, she gets a massive boost in usability compared to her terrible base version, but even though she gets a massive boost in usability, she is still terrible. So, you know, take into consideration both lists. Again, same with egos. Same with egos for sure. Like, you know, just because Chains of Others and Impending Day, like, just because Impending Day does not get much from Uptie 4 does not mean that it's bad. It's still going to be really, really strong, but you don't need it at Uptie 4 is more what I'm saying here, right? Like, you're not improving much practically speaking. There's not much more practical application for Impending Day. Its usage does not change, but its usage is still strong, right? So that's what these are my lists. You know, thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through, this is like probably my longest video by a long shot. This shit is like 3 hours long or something. So, you know, I'm gonna go eat some lunch or something, man. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And I hope this helped you. And I'll catch you on the flip side, man. Yeah. I'll make some Enk modules and then sign off. Alright, peace.